Welcome to Queen Creek, Arizona. The Casteel Colts hosting the Saguaro Sabercats. Yep, it was unexpected. Supposed to be the Perry Pumas this week, and then for Saguaro, it was supposed to be the Horizon Huskies. But nonetheless, COVID-19 comes through the Chandler School District as well as Scottsdale, and both of these teams were found without an opponent this week. And well, a couple of ADs and a couple of head coaches make some calls, and here we are with a matchup that you wouldn't expect to see in the regular season. A 5A powerhouse in the Saguaro Sabercats taking the field now, and a new upstart in the Casteel Colts off to a 3-1 start this year in their first year at the 6A level. It should be an exciting contest for both teams involved. I'm Dominic Cotronio, along with Matt Venezia. It's so great to have you with us. The Colts, and it's an emotional night as well. They went from maybe not having a game and having their senior night canceled to actually being able to play. And oh, by the way, you're facing one of the best teams in Arizona in the last 10 years, Matt. What do you think the emotions are like for these guys?
Well, I mean, it's already going to be hot coming out of the gate. You know there's a lot at stake. It's senior night. Everybody's got emotions no matter who you're playing on senior night. And now you're going to welcome in Saguaro. I mean, of all teams, are you kidding me? I mean, everyone's going to be ready to go. This sort of has playoff implications. They're trying to figure out where they're going to be ranked for both sides. Come sectionals and all that, it's going to be an awesome turnout here tonight. The crowd's excited, the players are excited, and you know, I'm excited too to be in the call here tonight, and we're going to see some good football.
As Saguaro won the opening toss, and they elected to defer to the second half. So it'll be Casteel getting the opening kickoff of this contest. And we'll have to get ready to see Dane Christensen and the offense for the Colts. Dane is actually leading the state in passing yards, 1,137 in just 4 games this year. And oh, by the way, Matt, he's completing 70% of his passes.
Oh, not surprised at all. He's looked really good here, especially at home, and we've gotten a good look to see him. And it's kind of been a tale of seeing the second half for this Casteel team, where they just kind of come out flat-footed a little bit to start the game, and then they have, you know, they make their halftime adjustments, and they show up in the second half of play. Against a team like Saguaro, you're going to need to play a full 4 quarters the entire way, or else you're going to find yourself at halftime facing a huge deficit, bigger than probably we've seen Casteel face to this point in the year. They're going to need to be ready to go the entire way.
And the opening kick just sneaks inside the pylon from Ortiz, which means the Colts will start at their own 20-yard line, and here comes Dane Christensen. Christensen in the shotgun to open up the contest. Murphy is the halfback with him. Man in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. It's Dom Dejan here on senior night. Gets to the line of scrimmage and nothing else. Really no gain on the first play of offense.
Yeah, Dejan's coming off a really solid game last week. Expect him to have the football a lot tonight. Against a team like Saguaro, you're going to need to have your best players get the football and make plays early and often. Not a surprise we see a cool trick play in the jet sweep, but not much coming out of it there for Casteel.
Not really a running attack this season for the Colts. It's been stagnant, of course, when you lose Ben Blancas, and kind of going by committee this year between Murphy and Knutson. It's now Knutson in the backfield on 2nd and 9. Throw over the middle. The ball drops. Was that a catch? Yes, it was. Officials coming in now conferring about this. There is no official call on the field. They've just clocked it right now. It was intended for Isaiah Newcomb. As he made the catch and ran forward, the ball came free. Was it a step or was it a fumble? We don't know what the call on the field is.
Well, regardless of what happened, I mean, I don't really know. The offense for the Colts is staying out there, but Newcomb, it was just a slant route, and he got rocked. He never saw the middle linebacker. That's why the ball came free. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if he really maintained possession at all in that play. In my eyes, I see this as an incomplete pass. We'll see what the officials decide.
Ben Shreves and his crew have called it an incomplete pass. So the head official today is Ben Shreves, umpire David Hyams, and Drew McDonald, James Moore, and Kynan Kaiser round out the rest of the crew. So it brings up 3rd and 10 now for the Colts. Haven't moved from their own 20-yard line after the opening touchback. A 4-man rush. They get pressure on to Christensen. Newcomb open over the middle. Uses his speed to get the first down, and he's out of bounds at the 38. A gain of 18, first down Colts.
So they run up the same play, except this time they got Newcomb on the left side of the hashes, and all he does is another slant, and it's a matchup, the man-on-man with the linebacker, and I mean, it's a foot race at that point. I mean, no one's going to catch Newcomb when he's matched up against the linebacker. He chases the sticks, gets a first down a little bit more, and the Colts able to move the pylon there for a first down.
Newcomb, the leading receiver on the team, 33 catches for 512 yards this season. Here he is on the screen on 1st and 10. Gets a couple and ends up falling forward for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, same idea. They have Newcomb in the slot and the linebackers on him. That time it was Miles Crutchley, and he's not going to catch Newcomb. I mean, this guy's committed to UCLA. Fastest guy arguably on the field for both sides, and too easy of a play there. Didn't get the first down, but, you know, in space he was able to make a play.
Injury down on the field as take a look on who it could be here for the SaberCats. And this could be a huge loss for Saguaro. It's big number 99, Tristan Monday, and one of the most talented 2022 players in all of Arizona. A 3-star recruit, already holding offers from the likes of Arizona, Baylor, and Colorado. Had a great week last week against Hamilton despite the loss for Saguaro, but the junior is down near the 46-yard line right now.
And you'll take that if you're Casteel. I mean, you're kind of banged up too, right?
They've got quite a few injuries as well. It's that point of the year, midway point. A lot of teams are dealing with the same issues, but you wish nothing but the best for a talented player like Monday, able to get up himself.
Yeah, we wish him the best, absolutely. And, you know, for Casteel going up, you know, head-to-head with Saguaro here, and, you know, on paper, this is a tough contest for them. They're coming off a loss in a game they probably should have won last week. And now you're getting matched up with Saguaro after a loss. This is a big game, and they're going to need to make sure that they have their matchups right and they're doing the right things, and you'll take what you can get, you know, at any point in this game.
So it was a gain of 4 on that screen to Newcomb. Brings up 2nd and 6 from the 41-yard line. Christensen looking for an audible. Just first minute of the game has elapsed. This bunch formation usually results in something small, quick, fast, and instead Christensen has time. Newcomb over the middle at the line of scrimmage, stops and goes, and another chunk of yards out of bounds at the 45. They'll spot him just shy of that, rather, at the, where are they putting him? They're putting him back.
Well, Dane Christensen has thrown the ball 4 times tonight, completed 3 of them. All 4 of them have been to Newcomb on slants, and they'll take the chunk yards and keep moving closer.
So 3rd and a long 4. Christensen in the pocket, finds Dijon, but he went right through his hands and an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it looked like a missile there from just about 5 yards away, right through the hands, as you mentioned there, of Dom Dijon. So somewhat of a productive drive for Casteel. They take a little time off. They're moving it around midfield, and you're going to want to do what you can here, as Newcomb's going to be the punter. We've seen him take a few punts this season. You'll want to pin him back here and do your best on defense.
But you got the dangerous Javen Jacobs back to return. He housed one last week against Hamilton, and a high snap for Newcomb. Back at his own 20, he's going to scramble and punt it away. Oh, it helps to have a wide receiver back there as your punter. Takes a bad Casteel hop, good Saguaro hop, and it's down at the 37-yard line.
Well, that could have been a lot worse. Isaiah Newcomb having to quickly put his head on a swivel and save what could have been a huge loss of yards, and great field position for Saguaro. And now here come the SaberCats on offense.
A 20-yard punt for Newcomb, and here comes Saguaro, starting from their own 37-yard line. And let's see who will start the game at quarterback. If you're unfamiliar, they've got a 2-quarterback system. This one, it'll be Xander Werner starting the game, but Ridge Dutchakal also comes out and plays quarterback as well. They're very comfortable with sharing the roles. They're 2 different styles as well. Man in motion, it's Jacobs. They give to him on the jet sweep outside. Jacobs outside the numbers and free. He's pushed out of bounds inside the 30. Huge play on the first play from scrimmage for the SaberCats.
Yeah, well, that's what makes it tough when you got Werner in the backfield, who's a mobile running quarterback. He's going to be doing that a lot tonight. And then he's got Jacobs running the jet sweep, and it's just a straight option play. As a defensive Casteel, you don't know who's going to get the ball. There's a great chance that either of those guys is going to come away with it. And at that point, once Jacobs touches the football, he's got so much momentum and speed going forward, and, you know, he burns it there for a big gain of about 40 yards.
38 officially, and they're on the doorstep of the red zone. Werner takes a snap, play action. He's running outside to the right. Werner gets hit and pushed away. A good tackle by Aaron Marquis, the senior here on senior night, with the first tackle for himself. The linebacker, who is Kyle Pointer's replacement. Got to make note of that. Kyle Pointer out due to injury. He was injured last week against Williamsfield. Pointer, the leading tackler for the Colts.
Yeah, fantastic tackle there by Marquis. You know, they say the way to take down mobile quarterbacks is go for their legs, get them down low, lowers the shoulder and wipes them out from down low, and keeps Werner from not going too far on that gain.
It is still Werner as the quarterback here. Takes a snap on 2nd and 6. It's a screen to the outside. Jacobs has blockers in front, gets the first down, bounces off another man, and he is in for 6. Touchdown, Saguaro. A 21-yard screen play to Javen Jacobs, and the SaberCats lead 6-0.
Well, I mean, like you said, it was a simple screen pass to the slot receiver, Javen Jacobs, and he bounced off about 3 tackles before prancing his way into the end zone, and you know, not too much surprise for most. Saguaro finds the end zone first, and they'll attempt the extra point here. 6-0 hot start for Saguaro, both on offense and defense.
And it was a quick, lightning quick drive here to open things up for the scoring in this one. But hey, you ask Casteel, they're certainly comfortable with coming from behind. All 3 of their wins have been come-from-behind efforts this season. Ortiz on to kick here, the extra point. Hold is good. The kick, though, is wide left. So a missed extra point there. And that makes it a 6-0 lead and holds it there. Michael Ortiz, the junior, missing it left. 4-play drive, 63 yards, took less than a minute. 59 seconds off the clock there for Saguaro. That was maybe the punch in the mouth that Casteel needed to kind of wake up from last week's slumber, if you will, against Williamsfield. Just kind of came out flat. You can understand with the emotion of the Queen Creek game the week prior, but boom, there's the punch in the mouth. You fall asleep against a team like Saguaro, they will make you pay.
Absolutely, and you might need that. Like you said, the punch in the mouth is going to be what they may need here. You know, they've been down in every game that they've won this season, and, you know, unfortunately it's against the best team in the state, arguably, so you know, that early deficit might turn into a lot more, but Casteel's offense has really just progressively been a lot better throughout the weeks, and especially in the games that they've come back and won, and we saw a pretty decent drive there, collecting 2 first downs for Casteel last time, and they'll look to replicate that here after this kickoff.
They were trying to kick away from Newcomb. This one not as lucky as the opening kickoff, and does go out of bounds, so the Colts will get the free kick, or they will choose to take over ahead, or will they have them re-kick? Looks like they will accept the penalty. And they'll get the start at their own 35 instead of the 20. So this is an important drive for the offense. After getting a little bit of momentum, but then a drop on 3rd down ended that drive for Dane Christensen and company.
Yeah, and it makes it tough. You know, you talked about that they haven't really established the run game much this season. You know, if you're having to only rely on passing the football, it makes it a lot tougher to win football games.
1st and 10, slings it out to Knutson, and he drops it as well. He had a man marked on him all over right from the start as well, and you might have heard those footsteps coming from Cole Shivers, the sophomore cornerback.
Yeah, and the pass was a little low, too. At that point, when you have the receiver running out wide, it was Knutson there. You know, you got to keep him up, not having him to reach down for that football to keep his momentum moving up the field instead of east and west. So, you know, got to make a better play there if you're Christensen.
Cold start for Christensen. Just 3 of 6 for 23 yards. 2nd and 10. Christensen, the senior, over the middle. He has Newcomb, and he gets into Saguaro territory down at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 19, 1st down Colts.
Well, that'll do it. I mean, it seems that Isaiah Newcomb's the guy to hit right now. He's been targeted 5 times, has 4 catches, and that time the largest of them all. It's just a simple slant route, maybe even you can call it a post, where he just cuts over by the logo and gets brought down on the other side of the table. Big gain there for the Colts, and it'll set up a 1st down.
Newcomb in motion here on 1st and 10. Knutson in the backfield. They'll give to Jace. He runs straight into a host of SaberCats. Doesn't get much else. There's a lot to run through in that front 4. First man there, though, instead, was actually one of the linebackers. It was Taryn Thomas, the senior, getting in there.
Yeah, and it was a good give there, and just keeping a low center of gravity, piling down low to the ground and able to fight for a yard, maybe even 2. Good piece of running there by Casteel.
So a gain of 2. Play action on 2nd and 8. Christensen just throws it away. That was by design. He did not have Dejan open. And good coverage in pursuit by Cannon Siegel.
Yeah, you know, you definitely don't want to force anything there after you've made it to the other side of the field playing catch-up already. Smart veteran move by Christensen. But as you mentioned, it's kind of been on and off here to start. Just 4 of 8. He had that last completion over the middle to Newcomb. But we're still looking to see a little bit more consistency right now from this Casteel offense.
Definitely some new faces, though, for Saguaro. They've had a handful of players become eligible after sitting for transfer rules. Now on 3rd and 8, they give to Knutson, but he slips on the turf and loses 2 yards. Brings up 4th down, and the Saguaro defense stands tall.
And the punt team not coming out yet, but I mean, you have Newcomb, who is your punter, out there right now. And it's a smart decision here, a tough one for Coach Newcomb to have to make, but you got to play it safe. No need to go for it on 3rd and medium-ish, even longer than that. So just got to rely on the defense here and not give up the big chunk plays once Saguaro gets the football back.
So Newcomb ready to punt. Jacobs back to return at his own 10. Good snap this time for Newcomb, and he gets it away quickly. A high spiral, fair catch called for. Ball is on the turf, but he falls back on top of it right on the 20-yard line. A 26-yard punt. That was almost disaster for Saguaro.
And a good job there by the special teams of Casteel to just get there while the football was still in the air. Jacobs was signaling for the fair catch. He had nowhere to go once he caught that football, and you know, I'm sure he's kind of nervous seeing all those guys in that dark gray coming right up in his grill, but he's able to recover the football and set it up here for another chance for Xander Werner and this Sabercat offense.
And we still haven't seen Ridge touch a call. So Werner again is the quarterback here. 1st and 10 from their own 20. On the read option, he tries to keep it this time. He's got nowhere to go. Shaq Bowser was applying pressure. A couple other Colts got in there as well. Nick Noriega on senior night.
It was Noriega with one arm just dragging down Werner. A great job there to keep him from running up and getting to the second level of the field. And what that allowed him to do was keep Werner right in his area, and then more Colts were able to pile on top of him. Great job of the D-line of the Colts to crash inside of the pocket and not give Werner anywhere to go.
We also see Dax Heggie getting some action, the senior in. Also want to make note, while Kyle Pointer's injured, so is Gavin Willis, one of the talented sophomores of this team. Whistles right before the snap. And this was a problem last week for Saguaro. This is the first laundry of the game, but last week against Hamilton, between the teams, there were 23 penalties for over 180 yards. And a false start against Saguaro, they had 80 yards penalties themselves last week.
Yeah, and I think on that one, they had Javen Jacobs, we've seen several times, be motioned off, and I think part of the line there jumping a little early after they heard the audible call from Werner. So now it's 2nd down and forever. They're taking this one from about the 14, and you know, they have the 30 to go. So long distance here, and see if the Colts can keep pinning them back.
We're only halfway through the first quarter, not even there yet. Rolling out, Werner throws on the run, finds a man out there near the original line of scrimmage, and he's immediately tackled. It was a good grab by Anthony Gonzalez, the senior wideout, and he's dragged out of bounds.
Yeah, he just runs a simple out route there, just sticking right to that first pylon and just taking what they can get, making it easier here on 3rd down and now around 10, instead of, you know, going for something and not getting it and facing 3rd and forever.
Spotted near the 18-yard line, so 3rd and 12 on the way, and for the Sabercats, this is a chance to really keep momentum on their side, and for the Colts to try to stabilize things. 3rd and 12. Werner is ready. The southpaw looking to throw deep, throwing over the middle for Jacobs, and it's broken up at the last second. Great play by Clinton.
Yeah, fantastic job there. And then on the other side, the reason that happened, Mason Phillips came out of a cannon, went right through the offensive line and drilled Werner right as the football was being released. And then as you mentioned, they're getting a hand on it. Connor Clinton able to save that one. And a great defensive possession there by Casteel, and that should send the Sabercats punting here.
And they are punting, and Connor Clinton, the junior who last season had 3 interceptions, this year he's got 20 tackles from the safety position. He's been a really important piece for the Colts defense. And Werner is back to do a pooch punt almost, it looks like here, or rather he's the up back. Ortiz is in here to punt. Low snap, he manages and sends a low wobbler. Lands near the 50 and hops out of bounds at the 46, 47-yard line.
So now after
spotted at the 45.
Yeah, so now after that, Casteel now is, you get stomped all over in under a minute from Saguaro on their first offensive possession, and then you pin them back and send them for a negative amount of net yards there. So it was a 3 and out. Now the offense comes back out. We're looking for that consistency from Christensen and the offense. We've seen Newcomb been targeted pretty much every time that the ball has been thrown. But now they need to start moving the football here and maybe getting the run game established. It's just been a question of when that actually will happen. We just haven't seen it much from the Colts this season.
37-yard punt from Ortiz. Third possession of the game already for the Colts. Knutson is in the backfield. Newcomb all alone down at the bottom of your screen. Christensen ready to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Rolling right, finds Knutson coming out of the backfield. Barrels over a man, and he's inside the 35.
Yeah, and that was a great job of Knutson to just kind of stick with it from the backfield and beat his man to the outside. And rolling to his right, Christensen on the run delivers a perfect football and a big gain. But as you mentioned before that, Newcomb all alone on the left side of the field. The safety bit, so it was a one-on-one matchup, and he did get past the defender. So that'll be a matchup you want to keep your eye on here on the near side.
22-yard gain for Knutson. Christensen dancing around. Flag comes out for a holding call. He'll get out of bounds after what's temporarily a gain of 5. First flag against probably the Colts here. Was talking to some folks with the media before the game. Sorry to cut you off, Matt, but a lot of talk about the amount of talent on Saguaro's team and the Division I talent. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of it. The O-line has 3 guys going D1. Casteel's got 2 guys themselves going D1 next year with Justin Thomas and Brock Dew. So there's a lot of talent here on both sides in the trenches that maybe isn't the pretty stuff to talk about.
No, not at all, but it's the reason that those guys like Newcomb, those guys like Christensen that are getting offers, and then you look on the other side, Xander Warner's having a big game. I mean, there's studs everywhere, but you have to give credit to the offensive line and the D-line if we're talking about defensive studs. They're the reason these guys are getting these looks.
So 1st and 25 after the holding penalty. On the play action, they find Newcomb trying to find a seam. He's tripped up at the 30. He could see daylight, but he just is barely tripped up. A good gain, though, to make it 2nd and manageable.
Well, it took the 2 safeties to bring him down. Newcomb nearly split them both, and he would have been off to the races with no one near him. And a big gain for the Colts.
Thomas DiCesaro made the tackle. Another throw to Newcomb. Breaks one tackle near the first down marker, and he got it. First down Colts. He needed 25 yards. He got 27 of them himself.
Yeah, 4 straight completions for Dane Christensen. We're talking about that consistency. He may be finding it right now. Got to keep it rolling now inside the 25. A pretty productive drive so far for Casteel.
Desmond Holton in motion. Christensen ready. Now spins out. Getting out to the left side. He's just going to keep it. Gets a great block from Knutson, and really all of that gets him near the original line.
Yeah, just a fantastic job of Christensen realizing how much time he had in the pocket, and evidently because of the coverage and the pressure he was facing, he didn't have much. He was able to just spin out of a couple, tackling efforts by the line of Saguaro, and then he's able to get some yards out of it. Smart veteran play, and a great job.
2nd and 10 on the way. Empty backfield here. Christensen again, quick throw over the middle, and he finds, I think that was Knutson, or was it Dom Dejan? Check that one more time. Zach Miller, the senior with the grab, his 18th catch of the season.
Probably the easiest of them all, if I had to say. I mean, it's just a curl route right in front of the middle linebackers, and no one was near him. 1st and goal, Casteel.
Going for it all on the far side, and a miscommunication. They had Dejan, but he broke to the inside, and Christensen wanted him to the outside. Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, still time though. You can go for the big play on 1st, and even if like there you don't connect on it, you have time to run the football, even run some short stuff to get even closer. But I would expect Casteel here to try and run the football, and I said just now it's 1st and goal. It's not actually. Check that. It's from the 12. So you definitely do want to get a little bit closer because you can still pick up a 1st down and be even closer to the line.
From the left hashes, blitz coming. Christensen throws over the middle, incomplete. A whole host of Sabercats coming through, and that's a lot to look at. Christensen just got rid of it.
Yeah, Donovan Thomason just came right in on him, and he had to get rid of the football quickly. And because of that, that sets up now third and long for Casteel, who's really looking to find at least 6 here. But, you know, with this big play here on third and long, they may have to force themselves to just take the points.
Third and 10. It's been a promising drive set up by a poor punt. Flags fly after the snap. It'll be a false start against the Colts. Newcomb already picking up where he's left off all year. 6 catches for 66 yards. Meanwhile, Christensen, 66 of those yards, of 66 of 91 yards total for Christensen to Newcomb.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the drive, last drive, we were talking about he was just 4 of 8 with 23 yards. Now he's starting to pick it up, and Newcomb's got 6 of the 8 completions that Dane's thrown tonight, and it's still the first quarter. So we talked about the stars needing to show up for both sides, and for right now, Isaiah Newcomb, the UCLA commit, is here to play, and they're going to need him on this big third and long opportunity.
And in a way, getting the penalty kind of opens up a little bit more of the playbook. Third and 15, you don't need to get to the end zone to get a first down. Christensen just going to have to keep it himself, and he's forced out of bounds back at the original line. So a gain of 5 on third and 15 is no good. Also want to report that Tristan Monday is back out there. He's the one who made that tackle. We saw him injured on the first drive of the game.
Yeah, and that's tough there because right out of the gate, you know, Christensen started rolling to the right, the line started pulling with him, the receivers on the right side started moving even further to the sideline on the right side, so it was a design play to have Christensen move, and they just couldn't find anything, and now, because of that, he runs, for his life and doesn't get much out of it, so it sets up the field goal opportunity.
Hoyt Vanderpool doing the kicking. The hold is good from Zach Miller, and it misses wide right. No good.
Yeah, I was just watching that hold, and he barely got it down. I don't even know how that football got up. Not a clean snap at all, and to even just make it look close, credit to the holder there, but Vanderpool's going to miss this one to the right, and an empty possession for Casteel, and that one hurts a lot. We'll see what Saguaro has to say about it here when they come back to the field.
And now for the defense, it's their turn to kind of put on their hard hats and prove they can do it again after they got shredded on the first drive of the game. It only took 4 plays to score in less than a minute, but then they locked them down on the next possession.
They can do it. They can compete with some of the best offenses here in Arizona, and tonight here at home, they're seeing that for sure. And I really do like what I saw in that last drive. They really caused pressure to Werner and even made it tough for Jacobs. They didn't even get an opportunity to really use him much as this D-line of the Colts came crashing in, and they're going to need guys like Shaq Bowser and others on that up front line to cause more pressure.
A lot of new faces. Werner is still the quarterback here. He keeps it on the option, but he has nowhere to go. First man there again, Connor Clinton coming in from the safety position.
Well, he's got several tackles already, and he's causing a lot of pressure, whether it's in the secondary or up front, in that case in Werner's face, keeping him to nothing there. A great job coming in from the safety position there to make a tackle.
And we still have not seen Ridge Dutchacall in this game. And I'm scanning the far sideline for a number 12. Second and 10 on the way. Werner, play action, looking to his left, steps up. He's got a man deep downfield, underthrows him, and it's broken up. It was a familiar name, Kennedy Urlacher, breaking that one up. Yep, Brian's son.
Yeah, and a fantastic job by Urlacher. At the last second, he's able to turn around and just swat that ball and keep it from being completed. That would have been a big gain as Werner faced a lot of pressure right out of the gate. He stepped up to the second level and barely got it off again. I actually thought he was going to take off and run. He had all day in front of him. A lot of green grass, and the Colts with a great defensive play by Urlacher make it third and long.
More on Kennedy in a second. Third and 10. Werner now throws to the left on a screen play. Has a man. Has the first down and a lot more. Breaking free to the outside, Gonzalez into Colt territory. A stiff arm inside the 25. Staying on his feet and down at the 20. Completely flips the field. A gain of 60.
Yeah, and that hurts, and here's why. Because the Colts did a fantastic job for the third straight play of causing pressure right off the snap. They sent the entire house on the line. They loaded the box and sent everybody. And Werner, being mobile, is able to get out of it. But the problem with that is when you set up a screen pass and everyone is going for the quarterback and you had two guys on the right side of the field to try and make a play, it's not going to happen because they had all those blockers. And a big gain for the SaberCats, and now that completely flips this entire possession.
1st and 10 from the red zone. Werner ready. On the jet sweep, he fakes it to Jacob, keeps it himself, and he's brought down by Shaq Bowser after a short gain.
Werner on the keeper, Shaq Bowser on the stop.
But we mentioned Kennedy Urlacher, only a freshman starting here. This is his 3rd game he's played in on varsity. Not quite his father's stature yet. He's listed at 6 foot 160, and he is listed as more of a safety and cornerback body type. He has a little more speed than his dad maybe at this age, and of course the name will always follow you around. He's number 23 at the bottom of the screen.
Well, a good name to look up to and try to develop your game around for your entire life, but absolutely, yeah, it's good stuff there for Kennedy Urlacher looking after his dad.
On the give, nowhere to go. A loss of yards, Mason William Phillips with the big stuff on Werner and company.
I mean, we've seen it, especially this drive, but so far through this entire first quarter, this defensive line for Casteel is winning the matchup of the offensive line of Saguaro. And the problem, and why it's not being as nearly as effective, is because they got Xander Werner in the backfield, and they've got Javen Jacobs, who they've been giving it to a lot. So they need to get the pressure, but also keep them contained in there before they can leave the pocket and start moving the football around like they have tonight.
This was the first action for Brian Bogartis there as he was stuffed for no gain. 3rd and 9, scrambling from the pocket. Werner, flags fly, throws over the middle, and it's picked off by the Colts, immediately brought down at the 5. We'll check on the flag, but a huge interception for Casteel. It was Kennedy Urlacher.
Well, speak of the guy of the night, we just brought him up, and wow, just read the eyes of Werner, who faced a lot of pressure. He had another linebacker stepping up in on him, and, he just kind of threw that one off his back foot. We do have a penalty here. It won't matter at all. A big turnover in the trenches, backed up to their own wall. And Casteel showing that defensively, at least, they're in it for the long haul here tonight, and a big turnover forced, and it'll be the Colts taking it the other way.
Kennedy Urlacher doesn't have a solo tackle yet this season, but he just got a pass deflected and then an interception on the same drive. And it gives the Colts the ball back inside their own 10. Going to be a tough task to get things moving here, but they get a gift in the final 90 seconds of the first. A bluff on 1st and 10. Christensen to the outside, finds a man, stutter step, and falls forward on a good solid gain to give some breathing room.
Yeah, just another screen pass here. We've seen a lot of that from both sides here to this point in the game, but it looks like it was Dom Dijon there able to make the play and have a little bit more room to dance after that, and he was able to put on some moves to push himself near the pylon, and a good job to kind of get some more breathing room for Casteel, who's still pretty far backed up.
A big 1-2 punch with Dijon and Newcomb. If they both get going, it could be dangerous. The throw is batted down, and you can tell Christensen did not want to let go of that ball. And at the last moment, let go, and of course, it was knocked down by the front line of the SaberCats.
Yeah, both lines showing out here tonight, making plays all over the place, causing a lot of pressure. Christensen's had to run around a lot here so far, and it'll set up a 3rd and short for Casteel.
And this is a big 3rd and 2 because it immediately gives momentum back to the SaberCats if they get out of this after the interception in the red zone. And for Werner, by the way, that was his 2nd pick of the season. 3rd and 2, they'll give to Knudsen, falls forward near the line to gain. Clock is stopping from the moment, no signal yet.
Yeah, Dom, I don't know if he got that one there. That's going to be real close, and backed up inside your own 20 now. How aggressive can you be at this point in the game? You love what you're seeing defensively if you're Coach Newcomb, but I don't know.
They're going to call a measurement here.
This is a big point in the game. If this is 4th and short, I'd be curious to see how aggressive the Colts are going to be and how aggressive situationally you can be, because this is, you're trying to keep your momentum. You just got a big turnover. It could have been a 2-score game had the interception not happened, and now you're trying to build off that, and you're about to give away all the momentum if you don't pick up at least one first down.
And the measurement, he got it. just by a half of a length.
Well, Coach Newcomb's not going to have to worry about if that decision would have haunted him or not throughout this game, because just barely able to get it was Knutson diving at about half a football length, able to be enough to get the first down, and the Colts will keep their possession alive.
1st and 10. They got about 10 yards and a foot. Final minute of the first quarter. Christensen looking to throw. Ball batted in the air, and it's an interception. Dropped down to the ground. Number 9 with the play.
It's not on our roster.
No roster for number 9, one of the new transfers on the team for Saguaro. But a batted in the air interception. He did it all himself, and the SaberCats take over right where they left off. They trade interceptions.
Yeah, and I was watching this near sideline, and Dom Dijon was in the slot and just ran a simple 10 yards hard and ran an out, and it was kind of like a banana out, and he was open. And I don't know who, Christensen was looking for there, but a great job of the D-line to get in his face, swat it in the air, and the nameless number 9 able to come down with it. Back-to-back turnovers for both offenses. And Saguaro is knocking on the door, looking to reimburse their last trip.
And Werner still the quarterback. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Jacobs in the backfield with him. A fake. Werner keeping it, running right, headed to the end zone. Touchdown, SaberCats. 12-0 Saguaro lead here in the first.
Yeah, and every single play that we've seen Werner run the football, it's been an option. That's going to be the name of their offensive running style here today. And that time, the Colts fall for it, and Werner's able to just prance his way through the end zone. Not really many defenders to have to worry about. And, that turnover is costly, and now it is a double-digit 2-score lead for Saguaro with 48 seconds to go here in the first.
Pull down, the kick away. This one is good. So a 13-0 lead now for Saguaro here in the first. And quite frankly, this is a moment where you say it should have been this in the first place, but never got the chance to do it because of the interception in the red zone.
Right. So, criticizing what's happened, if you're Coach Newcomb, you were kind of expecting them to score some sort of amount of points on the last drive, and you saved that from happening. So, take it as it is, and we saw the Colts offense move down the football field, and because of a missed field goal inside the 20-yard line, that's why they're still rocking the goose egg on the scoreboard right now. So Casteel will have to move down the football field. They should be able to do it like we've seen so far. And, we're expecting to see a drive similar to what we've seen from the Colts so far, as we'll see Saguaro kick it off here.
Ortiz sends it to Newcomb. This one drops, and it has to be returned. Picking it up from his own 3-yard line. They'll pin him back all the way to the 10-yard line. Newcomb was ready for that ball to roll into the end zone, and the ball spun like it was a lob wedge.
Yeah, and, because of that, Newcomb not really able to get much, and they're going to take this from right around the 15-yard line. I'm going to want to say the 12 here. So back-to-back drives starting from pretty much nothing, and the Colts are going to have to drive a long ways to find Pater here on this possession, looking to respond to that last touchdown by the SaberCats.
A missed field goal looms large right now as well. 1st and 10 from their own 12. Christensen. They'll give this time to Knutson, and he can't get past the first level. No gain.
Just trench football there. Both lines trying to carve their way through, and I don't know if we've talked about the run game not being able to be established. Is that a problem of the running backs? Is that a problem of the line not giving them enough room and blocking help to get to the second level? We'll have to kind of keep an eye on that here moving forward.
Christensen over the middle. He's got Dom Dijon, scrambles to the 18-yard line, and will make 3rd down a lot more manageable.
Yeah, that one's easy. Dijon just running right in front of the eyes of Dane Christensen, making it as easy as possible to find the open man. And it's just a foot race to the corner, to the sideline, trying to get as much yardage as possible. And now, like you said, it'll be 3rd and very short.
Third and a long 3 coming up here for Casteel. Knutson in the backfield. Now he's in motion. Christensen bluffs, tries to run it himself. He's got nowhere to go. Monday gets to him for the loss.
Well, he looks to be good after the injury earlier that we were worried about, and that time Christensen just trying to run between the right guard and the right tackle, but not having it there as we see Monday bringing him down for the sack, and that will force Casteel to have to punt the football away.
Our first break of the game, our score after 12 minutes. Saguaro 13, Casteel 0. And this is a good time to remind you that not only has Casteel come from behind on a deficit like this before, they've come from behind from a larger deficit. They came from behind down 21, or rather down 20 against Boulder Creek in week 1 of the season, and ended up coming back and winning that game in the final minutes of that one, 36-35 over the Jaguars. They also came from behind down by 10 points to Higley to win 25-24, and they were trailing most of the game against Queen Creek before prevailing 12-7 against the Bulldogs for their first 3 wins of the season. So this isn't unfamiliar territory, it's just an unfamiliar opponent with Saguaro.
Right, and you can't really rely on, we've been able to come back in every game. For effort and for wanting to stay in the fight, if you will. I mean, yes, absolutely, rely on that. But this is a much different opponent, a different scale of skill that they're going up here against tonight. And for a while, it was only 6-0. They were keeping pace both offensively and defensively. But now you can't let this game get any. You can't let the deficit get any larger without responding.
Snap is high but manageable for Newcomb. There was no pressure put on him. He thought about taking off for a second there. Fair catch called for by Jacobs, and he'll get it at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, and I like that there if I'm Newcomb, because he didn't have much pressure at all. What he does there by holding onto the football for a little bit, that buys more time for his defenders and his special teams guys to get in the face of Javen Jacobs, to get down there and contain him before he has the ability to run with the ball once he receives it. A fantastic job there by Newcomb to buy his guys more time, and a booming punt. He was in his own end zone. It was fielded at the 48-yard line. So an absolute bomb from Newcomb, and now it'll be up to the defense to not let him get any closer.
Officially a 32-yard punt, but they'll start in Casteel territory. And now our first look at Dutchicall. The righty is back in the game, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Broken up by Brian King, the junior, in on coverage as whistles and a flag on the play.
Yeah, this one probably coming back for a hold, but that was nearly picked off by King, just able to get his hand in there, was the intended receiver. First throw by Richicall nearly cost him.
A personal foul against the Colts, rather. We'll give it 15 yards and a fresh 1st and 10. Obviously, we don't know the number, don't have replay, but it is against the Colts, and that's a tough one after the great breakup by Brian King on the play.
Yeah, more laundry there, and you can't afford to do that, especially with a 15-yard variety against a team like the SaberCats. And quickly now, on an incomplete pass, it's turned into a first down inside the 35 of your own side of the field. So the Colts are really going to need to get it together here, disciplinary-wise, and try and not do that anymore.
Gonzalez in motion. Dutchicall will rather give to Bogardus, and running forward, running heavy, and he's down inside the 30 at the 26-yard line. The ball came free for a moment, but they deemed him down prior.
Yeah, just several, good jump cuts there by Bogardus, and able to find his way to the second level following his line on the right side. And it's just them leading the way and pushing for him, and the big running back able to find his way close to the sticks and keep the ball moving forward for the SaberCats.
Gain of 7 on the play, 2nd and 3 upcoming. And this is where Casteel is trying to use the cliche, bend, don't break. Dutchicall ready. Ridge, a junior. He actually grew up here in the Chandler area. Gives to Jacobs, running outside, breaks a tackle, and now he's finally pulled down. Good open field tackle. Jackson Sherwood, the first one there, the senior linebacker. His 29th tackle of the year.
Javen Jacob nearly got out of that ankle lock and was going to turn it up for more, and then really smart move there to bring him down. Sherwood kind of rolled over and kept him from being able to separate himself from his hold on his left ankle, it looked like, and a really good tackle made to keep this thing to 3rd and short instead of 1st down.
3rd and 3. It's really a long 3, almost 3rd and 4 you can call it. The Yard to gain is almost the 23. Play action, Dutchakal to the right side, it's batted down. Great play on the far side of the field. The man who got his hand up in the air was Jackson Sherwood again.
Two big plays made by the kid, rocking 2-4. I mean, you know, on that last play, keeping it to third and short, and then defensively keeping that thing out. But it is close enough in sort of no man's land that I would be shocked if we didn't see a fourth down try here offensively from Saguaro.
It's one of those things of why not? You're up 13. You can get a fresh set of downs. 4th and 3. Dutchakal. This has been his first series of the game. The junior quarterback.
Casteel's going to need several big plays here from Sherwood and others to stop him here.
Bogardus in the backfield with Dutchakal. Man in motion, Gonzalez. Flags fly. False start against Saguaro.
Well, now that might take the fourth down bid off the table. 4th and 3 is not the same as 4th and 8, and it's a whole different playbook open when you look at those two differences.
Granted, Jason Mond's not the type to step down from a challenge, head coach of Saguaro. They wanted to be the number 1 seed in the open division last year. Chandler got that, made it to the championship game. This is exactly what Saguaro was expected to do. 6-time state champions in the last 8 years. I mean, the list goes on of their accomplishments.
Yeah, we're now finally seeing Richakal and Werner out on the field together. Werner's going to be lined up in the slot on the left side, and Richakal is the one under center. This is a big play here. They're still going for it here on 4th and 8.
Dutchakal ready. 4th and 8. Takes a snap. Drops back, pressure comes, gets rid of it to the outside, and he's got the first down. It was to Werner.
And Casteel sending the house there again. Everybody in the box was running hard to bring down Richakal, and all that is just run to the sticks and run out, and Dutchakal able to make the play and kind of sit steady in the pocket. He knew that he was running out of time and delivered a really good ball to pick up just enough for the first down.
So a gain of 12 on the play gets it just to the doorstep of the red zone. 1st and 10 for Saguaro, converting 4th down. Dutchakal going for the end zone. Has a man open, but he overthrew him. Over there to block was Clinton, but it was the intended for Anthony Gonzalez. Cantrell on coverage as well.
Yeah, good job there as they were both going up for the football, but rather than playing the ball, we see Cantrell playing the body, and he just laid out the intended receiver, Gonzalez, and that's why that ball comes up incomplete. Instead of a jump ball situation, just play the body, and there's no chance he can make the play. Great veteran move there by Cantrell, setting up 2nd down.
2nd and 10. By the way, penalties starting to add up here in the first half. Saguaro, 3 penalties for 25 yards. Casteel, 3 penalties for 35 yards. 2nd and 10. Jacobs in motion. A read option to give up the middle to Bogardus, and he runs over a man and falls forward near the first down marker inside the 15.
And that's really hard because you have 2 guys in the backfield. You have Dutchakal and Bogardus right there, but there was another guy in the backfield too with both guys. All 3 of them are running towards the football there with Dutchakal, the one having it. How do you defend that? With 3 possible guys going to come away with the football, it's a really tough thing to do, and Bogardus, the recipient of the ball, was just able to plow through the middle and make this a 3rd and short.
Werner is the quarterback on this play. He had the entire first quarter to himself. Now he's back in shotgun. Big 3rd and 3 on the way. Jacobs in motion. Bluffs to him. Werner running up the middle. Met by a host of Colts. Gets across the line. Looks like he's going to be spotted near the 11 or 10 yard line. Plenty for the first down.
Yeah, another fake jet sweep there, and Werner's done it all night. He takes it himself and gets enough for the first down. Setting up shop here inside the 15 for sure and approaching that 10. So they'll still be able to get another first down if they want, but they're pretty close to the goal situation here that it's probably 4 down territory if they have to face that opportunity, and they'll look to go up by 3 scores on this chance.
In 3 minutes into the second quarter, we'll also remind you, Saguaro deferred to open on the opening coin flip, so they'll be receiving the second half kickoff. Something to keep in mind. 1st and 10. Werner, the quarterback again. A bluff to Bogardus, runs to the outside, cuts it back. Another juke, falling forward into the end zone. Touchdown, Saguaro. What can't he do? Xander Werner, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night.
I don't know about you, but I counted 4 missed tackles right there by Casteel, and that cannot happen. I know it's already hard enough to figure out if Werner's going to throw the ball or not. He actually lost his footing after he faked the give, so I figured nothing much was going to come out of it, and he's just able to use his legs and sidestep a couple guys and find a way to get there as he plows his way across the goal line. A huge touchdown for this game that was once 6-0 for the majority of the first quarter. With that PAT, it's 20-0 Saguaro.
Michael Ortiz pushes that one through, and a productive drive there for Saguaro, and coming after the punt from Newcomb, and this is just a whole lot going on in the good direction for Saguaro after they couldn't get anything going against Hamilton last week. Their only touchdown last week, in fact, was a punt return. They did not have an offensive score. Now they're making their time count in a game that really they're playing with house money. This is a rescheduled contest for both teams. Their original opponents were sidelined due to COVID quarantine protocols. Casteel was supposed to be playing the Perry Pumas this week, and Saguaro was supposed to be playing Horizon this week. Two different ends of the spectrum. Horizon in their second week of quarantine, so they had games canceled last week and this week. As for Perry, their test just came positive this week, and a big salute to the athletic directors and the head coaches to make this game happen on such short notice. Talking to athletic director of the Casteel Colts, Ryan Ridenauer, when did you know this could be a possibility? 8:20 a.m. yesterday morning is when the school started talking about it. And here we are playing football in Queen Creek, Saguaro, and Casteel.
Yeah, and it's something you have to worry about now in this new era of COVID and getting guys back to school and all that. I'll talk further on that point here after Newcomb. And basically, I mean, you know that it's probable with, teams still playing, different guys from different schools going to different schools and playing games and tackling and what have you and all that, and then coming to take on new guys and mixing back in the classroom setting and things like that. So a lot of different interactions between the athletes from different schools with each other and the students. So it was definitely going to happen. It's definitely something to note and be ready for if teams come up positive and have to cancel games. So hats off, like you said, to the athletic directors for making this game happen. Both teams are dying to play.
After the Newcomb return for about 20 yards, Christensen takes over, pressure comes, escapes the pocket, gets across a 30 and goes for a slide. First time we've seen him really go up the middle out of the pocket, and a solid gain on first down.
And he's really had good pocket awareness all season. That's something that I've definitely noticed, and I think he does a fantastic job of. And right there, like you said, kind of the biggest game he's gotten here tonight, but definitely not anything new that we've seen from Christensen using his legs.
Christensen lets the screen set up to Dom Dejan across the field on the far side. First down and more, out of bounds near midfield. A gain of 18, first down Casteel.
Yep, and on that first down, which is kind of confusing to me, Saguaro brought everybody, including the guys in the box. There was no one over the middle of the field, but Casteel hasn't really run the football all game, so I don't really understand why they would want to do that. And that time, because there's no one over the middle, easy play for Dejan to just get it and run. Huge gain for the Colts, setting up another first down.
Correction, gain of 16 on that play. Still first down nonetheless. On play action, has Newcomb open over the middle. A spin move and almost got loose. Still first down Colts inside the 40 and into Sabercat territory.
Oh, Newcomb was so close there after that spin to potentially be able to turn it upfield. And again, another first down. That's 3 straight plays, picking up the first dating back to Christensen's slide, and the Colts are going to keep moving north up the field.
Dropping back to throw on first down, has Knutson at the line of scrimmage, met by a wall and stopped there. Levi Robbins making the tackle. Only a sophomore with the play there.
Yeah, and that could have been pretty ugly for Knutson, who was sort of set up for a suicide pass there. Is right when he caught the football, he was met aggressively, but he's able to stick with it and get a couple yards.
Short gain, now 2nd and 7. Rolling right, has Newcomb over the middle again. Tries to get to the outside. He's out of bounds at the 25. It's another first down after a gain of 9.
Yep, a good job there. Another screen pass. That time Taron Thomas meets him at the sideline and shoving him out of bounds, but another first down for the Colts. I mean, they're starting to pile on here right now. We've got 4 straight completions from Dane Christensen, so things are looking pretty good for him right now. We're talking about the consistency of this offense, and they really do need 6 points here badly.
Now 15 of 24 passing for Christensen. Newcomb now at 92 yards on 9 receptions. Here he is again, but he stumbles and falls.
Incomplete pass, as it was for, looks like rather for Desmond Holton, the senior, stumbled as he received that screen pass for a loss.
Yeah, really the first ugly play of the drive, if you will, from Casteel, and that's just a good play by Saguaro defensively. So they'll look to keep going here and give credit to Saguaro, kind of getting run over on these past, 5 straight plays. They're able to make a play there and show that they're not trying to break.
Empty backfield. Knutson comes back to join as Saguaro shows blitz. They back off. A screen to the outside. Newcomb in traffic makes the catch, tries to start up, and he gets back to the original line.
And the goal there on that screen pass was to get Newcomb to catch it in the slot, but then kind of bounce and turn around to go around the outside. And because of where the pass led him, he wasn't really able to do that, and that's why the blockers, instead of blocking one side and having Newcomb go to the other, they basically were pushing the defense towards where Newcomb was. So that's why that play didn't really result in much.
This hurry up still going. 3rd and 11. You got to figure this is 4-down territory right now. Flag flies. Christensen's just going to keep it, see how much he can make up after this holding on the way.
And that hurts because this one's going to be coming back on Casteel instead of a really long 3rd down.
And if it is a holding, it's a spot foul. It doesn't matter how many yards he runs. But it does make sure that, he did get near the 1st down markers, so Saguaro can consider declining it, but at the same time, he's so close to it for 4th down, you would figure they would go for it, and they would accept this penalty. Long way to go here, as expecting the spot to move back a little bit, too. It is a holding call against Casteel. They need to get to the 15-yard line. Let's start there. The ball is spotted at the 45. So, 3rd and 30 on the way. Well, hey, last week there was a 3rd and 42 in that game between Saguaro and Hamilton. So, penalties are not rare to either of these teams.
Yeah, and right now, you just mentioned before this, is it 4-down territory? I don't know at this point. You definitely want to try and get at least 3, depending on where this takes you, and I think we're going to be getting a timeout here, and we do on Saguaro. I'm going to keep talking about this point here. So, if they're able to get a certain amount of yards and get in range where it's just a ridiculous attempt to go for it on 4th down, yes, take your points. But you do want to try and get inside, I would say, the 30 here on this next play. So picking up around 15 yards would be ideal, whether that's a screen. We've seen several of them with Newcomb here. You could do a slant over the middle. It would just be interesting to see what defensively Saguaro is going to show you, because then they can call some audibles at the line and Christensen can move some guys around as Coach Newcomb needs them to be. But I don't know, man. 30 yards here. And you ideally have 2 plays to do it. That's what you'd like. I just don't know if it's all that realistic to try and go for it on 4th and forever if they don't get a certain amount of yards on this next play.
And you look at the scoring to this point in the game as it's 20-0. Saguaro with the lead. It's been the Xander Werner show, as he's rushed for 2 and he's also thrown for 1. So it's been all about Xander Werner, the southpaw, if you will, senior quarterback. He's now thrown for 3 touchdowns. He has thrown a pick today, but he's also rushed for 2 more, bringing that total to 4 on the season. 3rd and 30. Knutson in the backfield. We'll see what kind of play call. Are they going to go conservative or try to go over the top? They'll put it in the air. Pressure coming, and Christensen is sacked. A host of Sabercats in there. Number 9 in there, and also nameless number 45, as these transfers fresh onto the roster, not on the one that we got today.
Yeah, and, no chance at all for Christensen. Right when he dropped back, there were 3 guys in his face, the line not helping him out much there, and some sort of noticeable thing here. We see Dom Dejan kind of limping off here to the near side on the 45. That'll be something to look at. He's a big star player for this Casteel offense. Not good to see him slowly making his way back to the sideline.
Newcomb ready to punt, and it's a bad punt. He shanked it to the right. It's not even getting to the 50. And it's coming back, and it's down at the 46. It is a 1-yard punt.
Yeah, I don't even know how to elaborate on that. You guys saw it for yourself. That is a tough break, and Newcomb knew it right away when it, right when he made contact with his foot. Just a bad punt there, and that'll set up Saguaro nicely here on the other side of the field.
When it rains, it pours. So this is the chance for the defense to try to create something out of this abysmal first half. keeping points off the board on this drive could be the difference of Casteel trying to come back. And on the flip side, if you're Jason Mullins, you keep going. You do not stop. You put the pedal to the metal.
I mean, you can put the game away right here, maybe. I mean, and 3 scores versus 4 score, big difference here, and we'll see what Dutch Call wants to do here.
Dutch Call back in at quarterback. He's going deep on 1st and 10, looking for coverage downfield. It's broken up. Brian King just kind of put his hand out as a prayer, and it fell right into his hand, and he knocked it away.
Yeah, this secondary for Casteel's been very, very good tonight. They're just getting beat on Warner, just running the football and tricking everybody up on the field. That time, another big play made in the secondary on the deep ball. Brian King with the answer, and that keeps the clock stopped. There's just under 5 minutes to go, so there is time if Casteel can find a stop. And then they were moving down the field just now before the penalty and the sack, so you can't rule out an opportunity to score some points if you're the Colts before the half.
That's all they're looking for now, and it's one of those things that easier said than done with the way the offense has gone for the SaberCats. Dutchacall has only completed 1 pass to this point. Blitz coming for the Colts. Flags fly. They jumped on the false start.
We have a flag on the play.
Oh, they're going to call an offside rather against the Colts, or an encroachment.
Will be encroachment against the Colts. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, and I think the front linemen, I didn't see who it was, but when they felt the heat of their brothers there defensively, the linebackers stepping up, showing that they were going to blitz too. You know, adrenaline and things like that, just jumping a little early there. And
it did look like Sherwood crossed the line, and then that's what caused the flinch, which thus the definition. So 2nd and 5 now, a gift that you can't afford to give if you're Casteel. Dutchacall looking for an audible. Not the best of weeks last week. Granted, nobody had a great week last week against Hamilton. 9 of 17 through the air, 53 yards passing. No picks, but no touchdowns either. Blitz coming again. Dutchacall steps back. Hit as he throws, and it's caught on the right seam, into the end zone. Touchdown, Saguaro. Javen Jacobs into the end zone from 42 yards out.
yeah, Dutchacall had something to say after that to the lineman, or to the D-line of the Colts that knocked him down there. A beautiful throw in the heat of pressure and hitting Jaden in stride and just, making his way through the end zone there. A big play through the air, and we're just talking about it now. If they were to score that 4th touchdown, that may put it out of reach, who knows, but a huge score that makes this 26-0, and we'll have an extra point attempt here by Michael Ortiz to make it 27.
If you're Bobby Newcomb and Brian Whitaker right now, the head coach and the offensive coordinator of the Colts, what are you saying to these guys in the huddle as you prepare to get another possession, which you still got a goose egg on the board?
I mean, we've seen defensive plays being made in both the secondary and the line of the Colts. That was the first big play that we've seen through the air that they've given up. They've been very good. A touchdown here with plenty of time to do so would give Casteel something to talk about in the locker room other than the deficit, and something to at least potentially wrap around and build around for the second half. But if you don't score here and you go into the half with that goose egg, I mean, it's just tough to find anything to try and make fire out of and get something to fire the team up and get something going for them. So this is the biggest drive of the game for Casteel. We just saw the biggest drive of the game for Saguaro, who had a chance there, and they did, to get to a score limit that could put this thing out of reach. But Casteel has the opportunity. They have time. They need to find something here to try and build off once we go to the break.
The other problem that the Colts have been having, it's been giving great field position to Saguaro, and they've been scoring quickly. 3 of their 4 touchdown drives have been in less than a minute. 59 seconds, 8 seconds, 16 seconds. That was the first touchdown of the game for Dutchacall, and on the season, it's his 4th passing touchdown. Ortiz kicks it away. Newcomb, 1 foot into the end zone. It is a touchback.
That'll be a touchback.
So here come the Colts on offense, who have found success tonight despite not having anything on the scoreboard to show for it. Dane Christensen's thrown for over 150 yards. He's got a high completion percentage. Newcomb's approaching 80-plus yards receiving right now, all in the first half. There's a lot of good things to talk about, but the only thing that really matters right now is what the scoreboard shows. So they can do this. They can find something to go into the locker room with, and it's just going to need to – we've seen drives where they march down to the field. They need to do it now, and they need to score.
As he's falling, a screen hits Newcomb in the hands, and he drops it almost in danger. Christensen, it was half stumble, half pressure that he fell back and was able to get that ball out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the offensive line of the Colts. It's been very good all day. That's 2 straight plays dating back to that long third down that right off the snap, Christensen's had no time for a play to develop. Nonetheless, try and just get rid of the football before losing yards. So this pressure by the by the Saguaro D-line is being noticed.
Quick outside, and now flags fly.
Deja vu, sports fans. We have a flag on the play.
Might not have had everybody set there. Oh, rather an illegal substitution against the defense.
Dead ball, illegal substitution against the SaberCats.
So 5 yards and repeat second. There's something positive for the Colts.
They just got to take it and build from it now. I mean, we look back at that last play where Christensen had little time to make anything happen, and now as I'm talking, Dom Dijon getting back into the game. I saw him getting stretched out on the table. Good to see him back in. They're going to need him in this comeback bid and effort. It'll all start with the receivers of Newcomb and Dijon to help out.
They give the Knutson trying to catch a defense by surprise. Jace barrels over a man and gets the first down.
I think that surprised everybody here, but the guy who made the call and the offense themselves. I mean, we just haven't seen them run the football much because Casteel's just, they straight up haven't had success with it. And they've thrown the ball all day. They're down 27 and deciding to run the ball and get the first down. Good play call, and now Casteel's looking to get more.
Christensen ready on 1st and 10. Has time in the pocket, now running out. Throws it to the far side, just barely overthrows Holton.
Yeah, and he was wide open there. Had about 10 yards of separation between him and Taron Thomas, the nearest defender, who was on the other side of the hashes. I mean, if that ball's on the money, and granted, Christensen had time there, but right when he was releasing the ball, that's when the pressure got to him. He was sitting comfortably for a little while. Because of the pressure, that's why the ball's overthrown, but very close to a big break play here for Casteel.
Miller in motion on 2nd and 10. 27-0 Saguaro. Over the middle, there's Miller. Inside across the 40, falling near the marker. He's going to be deemed just shy and brings up 3rd and 1 on a gain of 9.
So if you're Casteel here, obviously you have 4 minutes. That's a lot of time on the clock, but you don't want to score and then give Saguaro any chance to kind of counteract your score. So it wouldn't be a bad idea here if we see a draw or some sort of run to just get that first and keep the clock moving.
Had a man jump offside, so that will end up giving you the first down for free.
Right, you don't even have to worry about running the ball here. A jump there by the SaberCats, and more specifically it was Orion French jumping a little bit there, and like you said, moving the chains for free at no cost. That's the second penalty of the drive for Saguaro.
Vic Jr. just got a little too excited. So 1st and 10 for the Colts. The big 2 plays in this game are the missed field goal and the interception in the red zone, as that one's incomplete to Newcomb. Just led him a little too far. 2nd and 10 on the way.
So really this entire drive we've seen, and the last drive rather, we've seen Casteel run the hurry-up offense. Now because of that incomplete pass, they can get guys kind of refreshed, take a second here to figure out what we want to do for the next several plays and try to build something from it, as it's now going to be 2nd and 10. Looking to get to the other side of the field as Casteel has it at their own 45 with 3:37 to go.
Whistles coming from the line judge here.
Officials timeout.
I think they were just confirming the down. It is 2nd down.
Confirming the down.
And now they're winding the clock. Why are they winding the clock, though? It was an incomplete pass.
I'm not too sure about that.
A few seconds nonetheless. Christensen over the middle. He has Miller. Got a first down and bounces off a man. Inside the 35. Ball came free. Official coming in. He is down. First down Colts. A gain of 24 yards.
Well, Miller was wide open. He had about 2 yards of separation as he was running the slant route, and it was a money ball by Christensen, and then he was able to bounce off a tackle, get a few yards. He was down 100%, but that would have been pretty scary if, after that big play and a promising drive here, they would see a turnover there. But great job by Miller and a good throw by Christensen.
1st and 10. Final 3 minutes of the half. And again, Saguaro will get the second half kickoff. Christensen looking for it all. Overthrew everybody and really put it in danger for the first time tonight.
Yeah, not really a great pass there. Not a lot of pressure either for Christensen. I think it was just a bad throw overall. Thankfully, it falls incomplete as there was not really a Colt nearby to try and make that play close. So that'll stop the clock. 2:53 to go. And Casteel now, I mean, you're sitting right now on the 30 of Saguaro. You don't want to give him any time to move down the field and counteract the touchdown here, so you do have a lot of time to find 6.
2nd and 10. He finds Miller again on the slant, gets inside the 15, tripped up at the 10. Another first down to Zach Miller, the senior really coming out this week. He's yet to have a touchdown reception this year, but he averages nearly 50 yards a game.
Right, and I think a lot of that on this drive, that's 3 catches in a row going his way. We still haven't seen much of Dom Dejan on the drive since his injury.
Gain of 19 on that play. Christensen flushed and he's dropped. It's a sack. First man there. Monday again. His 2nd sack of the season.
Yeah, a lot of guys there for Saguaro creating pressure, and they've had a great job, and they've done a good job of getting in Christensen's face, whether it's been a sack or forcing bad throws. And that time, as it looked like Casteel was ready to just kind of kick the door down and finally score. They've had so many trips inside the red zone, just nothing to show for it. You know, with another opportunity looking like that, now we're going to get a timeout on Casteel. But yeah, I mean, a good response by Saguaro, who's kind of getting stomped on, moving down the field. They get a big sack here, and that changes up the game plan for Coach Newcomb and his Colts.
Also, Christensen doesn't get sacked often. He's been sacked 3 times tonight.
I don't even know if he's been sacked 3 times all year coming into this game. So definitely a noticeable amount of pressure. And that's just kudos to the defensive line of the Saguaro Sabercats. They're just, we knew about them coming into it. They're a fantastic unit led by Monday, who, you know, with the injury scare that we saw earlier, he's back out there now creating pressure, and he's having it his way as well as the other guys that he lines up with up front for the Sabercats.
Haven't seen much of Quentin Somerville tonight, unless he changed numbers, and he's been secretly number 9. It would make sense. The Michigan commit. Second and 19 on the way after the sack and the timeout.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of A.J. Murphy out there tonight, but he's in the backfield, maybe going to help block here.
Go play action, he is blocking. Christensen rolling right, looking for something. Throws to the far side, and that is incomplete. Looking for Miller, just kind of put it in a spot that only he could get it.
Yep, and a good decision there to just play it safe, as you mentioned. And I do like having a running back there, excuse me, to help out Dane Christensen, because this defensive line has really had it their way in this set of first downs on this drive. So anything you can do to help Christensen buy a little bit more time to deliver a good ball to Zach Miller, to Isaiah Newcomb, to some of those guys. And Murphy now is going to check off, so we'll probably see a couple, 4, maybe even 5 receivers out there for the Colts.
3rd and goal from the 19. Not much in the playbook for this. Knutson in motion. They'll give it to him. He can throw the ball. He's got a man open. It's Miller. Touchdown. Colts on the trick play. That'll break the ice. They get their first points in the game on the trick play. Knutson throwing it 19 yards to Miller.
Well, the deficit gets trimmed a little bit, but you can't really worry about that. That's just something to talk about, right? You go into the locker room talking about that you're down 27-0. That's all the guys are going to be thinking about. A trick play like that catches everybody off guard, and now you have something to hopefully build some fire with. Let's watch and see what Casteel can do with this going into the second half. A fantastic play call and a great throw, finding Miller in the end zone.
That's literally a play Saguaro ran last week against Hamilton, as the extra point is good from Vanderpool, where instead of Knutson and a tailback, it's using Dutchakal and Werner. So a little more of a trickery look there, and they get the touchdown. And a huge drive for Casteel, 11 plays, 80 yards, and 2:55 off the clock.
Yeah.
Consistent offense.
Right, and it's about time, right? They've been able to get down to into the trenches, but not able to do much after that. I want to talk a little bit more about that last play and why we saw Zach Miller wide open in the end zone, because the throw was to Knutson, and it was a screen pass, it was a bubble look from the slot. And what that does is every corner that was on a receiver and every safety on the right side of the field, once they saw the screen, they decided to bite and try and come in and make the tackle. but because Knutson was behind the line, he's able to throw. And the only guy that didn't look like he was setting up to block was Zach Miller. He kept running down the field into the end zone, and he was wide open, Dom, and a big touchdown for Casteel, who now trails by 20.
Can I make a Halloween pun? Trick or treat?
Absolutely. Just one day before Halloween, absolutely.
Gonzalez to the outside, gets a little room. It's a great return for Anthony Gonzalez. All the way across the 40-yard line. It's about a 33-yard return, 31 yards officially.
146 remaining in the half.
So that'll kind of wake up the defense saying, oh, by the way, you haven't stopped us. You've only stopped us once tonight, and the other time was on an interception.
Yeah, and Saguaro has the opportunity with this drive to really just cancel out what we just saw. Regardless of how cool the trick play was, regardless of how loud the crowd got, if they're able to cancel out those 7 and still be up 4 scores going into the locker room, that's huge. And if Casteel can make a play here defensively, Saguaro has a chance to double dip here. They get the ball to start the second half, so you really do need to make a stop here.
Warner is split out wide. Dutchacall, the quarterback, gives it to Jacobs, and he's loose. Jacobs inside the 40, one man to beat. They're closing in on him, and he's pushed out of bounds, staying balanced inside the 20. They cannot stop the Saguaro offense.
And Javen Jacobs there just getting the football in the backfield as he was motioned again, and he just has so much room, and he's so fast and elusive with the football, and a huge gain for Saguaro now set up inside the 20. And like we mentioned, just it takes one play, and they've been doing it a lot, that can totally shut down any momentum that Casteel has gotten or could get from that touchdown. And bend don't break, but really, I mean, you just really can't afford to give up any touchdown here at all.
42 yards on that run from Jacobs. Clock frozen at 96 seconds. A bluff. Warner now the quarterback, running to the left side, breaks another couple of tackles, still on his feet and down at the 11.
And I think he was marked inbound, so the clock is going to keep running here. So if anything, that helps Casteel out. And both sides have 2 timeouts remaining. We'll see how Coach Mons wants to use them here for his Saguaro Sabercats.
They need to get to the 9. Ball is spotted at the 12, 2nd and 3. Warner, the quarterback again. Jacobs in motion. On the jet sweep, they give to Jacobs. Gets near the first down marker and across. First down, Sabercats down at the 6. A gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, a lot of yards there after the give in the backfield to Javen Jacobs. And now we're going to see Dutchacall come into the game. And that'll move Warner out into the slot. He's putting the gloves on now, so they're pretty dangerous when they're able to use that elusive 2-quarterback offensive style. Clock continues to run. We're under 40 seconds to go in the half.
First and goal from the 6. Casteel needs a stop. They need it badly. Dutchacall ready to throw. Pumps. Throws as he's hit. Overthrows his man by a step. Was looking for Bogartis coming out of the backfield.
And now that we're seeing the clock kind of run a little bit, it stopped because of the incomplete pass. Great pressure, by the way, by Casteel. We know how aggressive Coach Mons can be. We've seen it a couple times here tonight, debating to go for it on 4th and short with a chance to put the game away. If this does come down to not much time left and the opportunity to take 3, taking 3 would benefit Casteel for not giving up the touchdown and keep this game still within reach. It is a 20-point game. That's a very large lead going into the half, but getting 6 would put the game away. So it'll be interesting to see. Casteel may be able to walk away from this drive giving up nothing.
Warner decides to keep at the last moment, and he's in untouched. His 3rd touchdown of the game on the ground, and his 4th overall.
Well, yeah, spoke a little too soon there. It's the same play he scored on all 3 previous times. It's a fake draw, and they fake the option in the back. He just runs right up the middle, and no one touching Warner there for his 4th total touchdown of the night and his 3rd rushing.
Touchdown Saguaro, a 5 TD first half. Definitely dusting off the cobwebs from the low offensive output against Hamilton last week. Ortiz, his extra point is good. 34-7, with 24 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, that one hurts a lot. So you got 24 seconds, 2 timeouts. I mean, the goal would try and be to get as close as you can and get some sort of points here before you go to the half. And we've seen screens, we've seen trick plays, so you can't really rule anything out of Coach Newcomb's playbook to try and do something here, but there is time. You play the sideline. You have enough timeouts to try and salvage some sort of points here. A field goal would make it a three-possession game, and three possessions looks a lot easier and really is a big difference between 3 and 4 possessions when playing catch-up, which Casteel is very much used to here in the midway mark of the season.
Werner, 3 touchdown rushes of 7, 11, and 6 yards, 1 passing touchdown of 21 yards. The other belongs to Dutchakal to Jacobs from 42 yards out. That drive, 5 plays, 60 yards, and they took their time on it, 1:22.
Oh, yeah. Well, compared to what they're doing, I mean, it takes one play, and they can, get the 50-plus yard variety. We've seen it several times here.
A lower kick here from Ortiz. Newcomb has to return it at his own 4-yard line. Newcomb looking to the inside. Flag comes out. He's out of bounds at the 35.
Well, this is an illegal block in the back. It'll be coming back, but, I mean, that's something that could do the job. But I think this is coming back.
It will be a holding call against the Colts and a spot penalty. So 10 yards from there, and quite frankly, wouldn't be surprised if you see Knee just take it into the locker room from there.
Yeah, moving 85 yards. It's a tall task with not that much time to do it, as that return took 7 seconds on the clock, off the clock, and moved him back 10 more yards from where the first contact was, and it looks like that's what Dane Christensen and the Colts offense are going to do.
They are in a kneel formation. Drops it down and on to halftime. For Saguaro, just about everything went right. For Casteel, not much else. As the score going into the break, 34-7, Saguaro with the lead on Casteel. It's been all about Xander Werner today. He's been unstoppable in the red zone. The defense has been decent in the air, but once they get that ball on the ground, they haven't been able to find an answer for Xander.
No, not really, and they've kind of, whether it's been man or zone, that's kind of the only defensive styles we're seeing, but I think if this game was closer, it would make more sense. But at least to try and hold them from scoring, and making it a lot worse than it is, try and put a spy on Werner. Try and have someone whose job is to only go where he goes. And it just takes one guy in space to make a tackle instead of having to decide as it happens where to go, whether Werner gives it to Javen Jacobs in the backfield or if he decides to tuck it and run. Because clearly they found success with it tonight. The guy's got 5 touchdowns. His offense has 5 touchdowns. I think putting a spy and someone to try and limit his productivity is going to be essential for Casteel. Maybe not to make the comeback, but to at least stop them from scoring 34 more points in the next half.
So adjustment time in the end zones. No one goes to the locker rooms here in the protocols of 2020. Senior night continues after the break. The final performances at home for the cheer, palm line, and the marching band coming up here on Sports 360 AZ. With Matt Venezia, I'm Dominic Cotronio. We'll step aside. 34-7. Saguaro with the lead over Casteel at the break.
Let's hear it for our Casteel Colts prom team. Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, while in the stadium or on the premises, you should have your mask up and covering your face. Also, remember to social distance wherever possible. Thank you. We want our boys to keep moving.
Second half getting ready to begin here at Casteel and Queen Creek as Saguaro has jumped out to a huge lead, 34-7 after one half of play. I'm Dominic Cotronio with Matt Venezia. Looking over some of the numbers of that first half, we'll start on the Saguaro side. Xander Werner, rushing-wise, he's got 3 touchdowns. He's only rushed for 39 yards, but he's also got 3 scores. In the air, he's 3 of 6 passing for 80 yards, including a touchdown in that variety as well. He's thrown 1 interception. As for Rich Dutchakall, we didn't even see him until the second quarter. Dutchakall, 2 of 7 passing for 52 yards and 1 touchdown for him. As for the Colts, Dane Christensen, man, I mean, he's making guys like John Smoltz blush or Ron Darling blush in that. He threw 33 passes in the first half alone. 20 of 33, 197 yards, but he still only managed 1 touchdown in that. Isaiah Newcomb, the leading receiver, 9 catches for 95 yards. Zach Miller with a good output today, 5 catches for 74 yards. So my question to you, Matt, as you prepare to see Saguaro get ready to get this second half kickoff to get things going, if you are Saguaro here on this opening drive of the second half, what is your key here? Is it score as quickly as possible or just make sure you continue to move the ball?
Well, I mean, what we've seen them, you mentioned that there's 3 rushing touchdowns or 4 rushing touchdowns, whatever, for Xander Werner. And they've only been from, not that far of distance, where the max distance he ran for a touchdown was 11 yards. So I think they have no problem melting the clock, and not that they need to in this situation, but Casteel's going to try and score as quickly as they can when they get the football, no matter what the deficit is. My point is, Saguaro is in no rush. There was no need to try and get a big play out of the gate and get your statement put across. The statement's already been put. I mean, Saguaro's here to play football. They're here to pound here on the road, and they're here to cause a statement to teams statewide. And they've done that, putting up 34 in the first half, holding a pretty good Casteel offense to just 7 points. So now that they're going to get the football back after just scoring prior to the half, they're going to have an opportunity, and they don't need to try and score right away. They can take their time. They keep running the football, whether it's with Javen Jacobs or with Xander Werner. They can, put Dutch Call back in there. I mean, they have so many options that they can go with. And really, the playbook's wide open right now. And there's no need for Coach Mons to try and do anything that could get his team in trouble and give Casteel anything to talk about and build something off of here in the second half.
So as the teams get warmed up and ready to go, Dutcher call, like we mentioned, only really showed up in the second quarter and started off going late, but then Xander Werner's been the story. We've also seen a lot of new faces today for Saguaro. Anthony Gonzalez has made a few catches. Brian Bogartis has had a couple carries and catches out of the backfield. Jamin Jacobs, though, again, picking up where he left off. Last week he had a punt return for a touchdown. He also caught 8 passes for 80 yards. He's been terrific today as well for the SaberCats. Defensively, now we're going on a hunch here. We haven't said Quentin Somerville's name once tonight. There is no number 50 on the field, but there is a number 9 in his normal strong side DN spot. So we're going to go out and assume that that's Quentin Somerville because he's made a tipped interception, he's got a sack, he's been in the backfield almost every play. The number 3 recruit in the state of Arizona, Somerville's had a solid game. It's all about Tristan Monday, too. He's been in the backfield. He's got 2 sacks himself and a couple of tackles. It's the front 4 for the SaberCats that maybe is the hidden gem of this, and that the unsung hero. They've really made Dane Christensen sweat tonight.
Absolutely, and you mentioned before this comment that Christensen's thrown it 33 times just in one half. I'm sorry, Dave, but it doesn't look like that number is going to get any smaller. I mean, you're going to be throwing it a lot, chasing 27 points right now. And because of that, what that means is up 27, you know Coach Mons is going to send the house every play, whether it's 4 or 5 guys up on the line, if he's sending the linebackers in with the 4 guys that have already had success getting pressure on Dane. So the real test and the real question is going to be how will the Colts offensive line respond to what we're going to see defensively from the SaberCats, because they have every right now, up 27, to put as much pressure on Christensen as possible, make it even harder than it is to chase 27 points if he's not even going to make a play or a throw or even face a lot of pressure. So there's going to be a lot of pressure, as if there already hasn't been enough on Dane already, here coming up in the second half, moving forward in this point of the game.
Ready for the kick from Crowder, and Jacobs back to return, as well as Gonzalez, and splits them for a touchback. There was also Davies back there, rather, I should say. And let's see who will be the opening quarterback of the second half for Saguaro, leading in large fashion. 4-score game.
And with the opportunity to make it 5 on this drive, there's no surprise that we're going to see Saguaro trying to get to that point, but they don't need to rush it. They can, the clock is their friend here. Just keep it churning. And with such a big lead, you don't really even need to worry about the clock. Just hold the football as long as you need to. Don't do anything dumb. And right now, Saguaro's in a fantastic spot to go on and get a dominant win.
Werner will start as quarterback here in the second half. Looking to throw left side, and he just overshoots his man. Incomplete to Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's just anticipation there. Looking for Gonzalez there on the out route by the 30-yard line. Werner throwing it a little bit too far out of his reach. And I can't help but bring this up. I mean, I see Dom Dejan on the sideline now. It looks like he's just getting some sprints in there. We have not really seen him since the first quarter, or at least be productive and since the first quarter. And they're going to need him out there with the likes of Zach Miller and Isaiah Newcomb to have some sort of a chance to come back in this football game.
Only took 4 seconds off that first incompletion. A low snap. Werner manages, gets the handoff up the middle, and he's loose. Getting it to the outside, and finally tackled there by Kentrell. Good, aggressive run by Jacob Pickett. First time we've said the senior's name. All 5'7", 145 of them got outside for a first down.
Yeah, and that sucks because you look and see not much clock was taken off the first throw. We've seen all the runs really coming from Werner and Jacob, and now they throw in Pickett, who you haven't seen all day. You don't know what to expect. 5'7", who cares? He was able to get up into the second level and get a big gain there for the SaberCats.
Another bad snap, and it bobbles and pinballs around to Jacob's hands. It's a loss on the play. Shaq Bowser got back there, but that was nearly a giveaway and almost a fumble.
Yeah, not a clean transfer at all, and just one of those plays, one of those breaks that are not forced at all. It's just simple error by the offense is what Casteel could really use right now, and something that could get the momentum started and something to build off of, and they nearly got one there.
And by the way, that rush for Pickett, a 23-yard gain. There, a loss of 3. 2nd and 13. Warner has time, scrambles away, pursued by Noriega, and he's pushed out of bounds across the 46.
Yeah, just out hustling the D-line there, Warner, not much problem. There wasn't really anyone else able to be there to make the play, and he's able to get a couple yards there. It's going to be 4 exactly. That'll bring up 3rd down and long here for Saguaro.
Colton Ridenauer with the stop. 3rd and 7. Davies in motion to the top of your screen. Warner still, he's had a solid game. The junior waits. A hard count and no one bites. Pickett in the backfield with him. This is a must stop for Casteel. Play action. Warner to the outside. It's a screen to Gonzalez, and he's swallowed up.
Yeah, it's fantastic tackle there on the play, able to just stop the screen effort, and that was huge. You really needed that. Ridenauer able to get there and make the play, and I was going to say, it was straight man coverage across the field by the Colts, so on a screen pass there, you got to give up your man and try and make a play there, but what happens is, because it's straight man across, if they have any guys crossing, if they'd run a slant or anything like that, it would have been really tough to defend and have guys switch up on their matchups, and the Colts did a great job of plugging that and not letting anything happen out of that opportunity.
Ortiz gets the punt away. Newcomb calls an early fair catch down at the 19-yard line, so gets the punt away, 34 yards.
So there is time. They got the big stop, only took a couple minutes off the clock. The defense did their part, now it's the offense. We saw them score. I mean, their last drive they had, they took a knee and just went to the half. But before that, they moved down the field as they have done well all game. And they finally were able to get the ball across the line for the score. And Dane Christensen, he's thrown the ball 33 times tonight. Expect that number to potentially reach 60 tonight at the rate that they're going to need him to throw.
He runs here on 1st down as the pressure collapsed the pocket. He gets a short gain on it. And that drive you mentioned, it was 11 plays for 80 yards, but took 2:55 off the clock. Quite frankly, the clock is not your friend here the entire second half.
No, and they're going to be doing that hurry up pretty much this entire game, at least until they see, okay, maybe it's a 2-score game with, you know, a lot of time in the 4th quarter. Who knows? We're not there yet. But right now, Casteel needs to score as quickly as possible, and then they can worry about that later.
Christensen, again, pressure coming. Scrambling to his right. Gets rid of it as he was falling to the ground, and it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I'm looking up to the sky there, nearly bringing him down there for the sack. Nameless on our roster, number 45. I was trying to bring up a big point there, but causing enough pressure there, wrapping around Christensen's leg to force an errant pass. Now we're going to see Dijon head out of the field. Hopefully he's healthy enough to help spark something here, as the Colts are going to need him here on this 3rd and long.
3rd and 7 on the way. Christensen ready. A bluff and a throw to the outside. It is Dijon in the flat. Cuts it back upfield. They needed to get to the 30, and he is short.
And this is 4-down territory. It's got to be. I mean, you got to have something here. The reason you make that play call to get a couple yards is because you're already planning to use 2 plays to get the 1st down. Or, excuse me, I'm saying 2 more plays from where it started, but a total of 4 plays to get 10 yards. That's why they were just trying to get something to make it easier now on 4th down. And, you know, no surprise, we see Christensen and the rest of the Colts offense still out there.
This tackle was made by Miles Crutchley, the junior linebacker. So 4th and 2 from their own territory, but you understand why they have to do it. And with an empty backfield, pressure comes. Christensen has a man. Dijon nearly drops it, but he hangs on for the 1st.
Well, plenty more than the needed 2. Christensen sitting comfortably in the pocket, even though it looked like he had some pressure coming around the outsides. And he delivers a money ball to Dijon. It's been a minute since he's really been in and been productive, able to haul that one in enough to get the 1st down and keep Casteel's hopes alive.
Christensen pulls it out on their RPO, gives to Newcomb on the outside, and he's tangled up and dropped across the 45 and down at the 46.
Yeah, I like that play call. It was a fake give, and then it looked like Christensen could have taken off for it and ran. While he was running, he decided to throw the football. So I think everyone started running to him, seeing that he was tucking it, and gave it up for Newcomb there and gained 8.
Newcomb in motion. Christensen on 2nd and 2. Just dumps it to the outside. Knutson gets to the inside and into Saguaro territory, and another first down.
I like that they're still moving the football and getting chunk yards right now on short dump-offs, but there's 7 minutes left in the third quarter. I mean, these are helping you maybe score on this drive, but when? In 5 minutes? Like, you need to start moving the football here in big plays, and now that Casteel's not really backed up like they were and not facing a 4th down situation, let's start to see the playbook open up a little bit here for Casteel.
See the sophomore Malcolm Lee checking in, 81 in the slot at the top of your screen. 1st and 10, Christensen deep over the middle. Dijon, he's open. Inside the 20, inside the 10, touchdown. 50 yards, Christensen to Dijon. There's some fireworks for the offense. They trail 34-13.
Well, they read my mind. I mean, it was about time that we see something on the drive. I mean, the time is not their friend at all. And right when we brought up, hey, let's start to get a big play here, all it is a post over the middle. Dom Dijon had no one near him. A perfect ball by Dane Christensen, and Dijon doing the rest of it when he got the football around the 15. And a big score there. This extra point makes it a 20-point game, and you still have time to try and keep chipping away.
A bad hold and a good kick. What a save by Vanderpool. Quick drive is complete. 6 plays, 81 yards, and 2:27 off the clock. But what's clear, if the offense does that every time, you'll be happy. But the real playmakers have to be on the defensive side of the ball. Whether it's a turnover or to continue to get stops, you really almost need to be perfect on the defensive side of the ball in the second half.
Right, and even though they gave up first downs on the last drive, their defense had to be happy that they kept them off the scoreboard. So now that the defense did their part, they're holding their end of the bid, of the effort, of the team effort to try and come back in this game. Then they see Casteel move down the field, and then on one big play there right around the 50-yard line, the Dom Dijon touchdown. This motivates the defense. This is what Saguaro did not want to have happen. Give Casteel any opportunity to try and build something from it, and that's exactly what we're witnessing right now. And I hope the defense for Casteel realizes that and will want to keep going with it.
Davies takes it backpedaling at his own 3-yard line. Davies gets to the 23 and stopped there. So again, the scoring drive, 6 plays, 81 yards, 2:27 off the clock, and it completed by Dane Christensen to Dom Dijon for 50 yards on the connection.
And you know, a 3 and out would be great, but that's not needed right now. It's not a must.
Well, it's always welcome.
It's always welcome, but I mean, the bend don't break philosophy would be good here, where usually you talk about bend don't break in the red zone, where don't give up a touchdown, 3 points is okay. In this situation, you can give up a couple first downs if you need to, but you cannot give up any more points. You need to keep this where it is, keep the momentum on Casteel's side right now. They have the only score of the half after each team's first drives of it, and it'll be up to the defense now to keep that going here against Saguaro.
Werner is set as a tight end, and now 3 flags fly as the entire right side of the line flinched on the hard count. So Dutchakal was lined up as the quarterback, and Werner had his fingers in the dirt as a tight end.
And we're talking about not giving Casteel anything to build around. Saguaro just scoring to keep showing that they're in the driver's seat and keeping discipline straight. And we're seeing the complete opposite right now from what their game plan should have been coming into this quarter. So Casteel's noticing this, and there's going to start to build around it and really kind of buy into the process right now from coming back from such a big deficit.
Dutchakal gives to Jacobs running left, and he is met in the backfield. Casteel trying to play with some passion now. Jackson Sherwood, the first man there, and they've stopped Jacobs for what feels like the first time tonight.
Yeah, and that time everybody saw that the give was to Jacob, and I'm pretty sure everybody in gray moved in the same direction all at once. They knew it was going to him. They bring him down for a loss after the 5-yard penalty, and it brings up 2nd down and very long for Saguaro.
2nd and 18, halfway through the third quarter. Dutchakal still the quarterback. Jacobs in motion. Flags again for another false start against Saguaro. Defense trying to keep the fans engaged. They feel like there's momentum on their side right now.
Yeah, and you really do have to feel that and play with it, and now you need the help from the crowd to just keep the energy positive and still have it. That's the 2nd penalty of this set of downs on Saguaro. They've lost 10 yards because of it and the loss of yards on the handoff to Jacob, bringing up now a 2nd and 23.
7 penalties now for 45 yards. And here comes another false start.
We have another flag.
See what the official call will be, but you saw
Shaquan Bowser come through the line. 3 consecutive false starts.
False start against Saguaro.
Well, we talked about it earlier. When it rains, it pours. I mean, right now, they just have no room to work with from this drive starting at the 23-yard line. And Casteel now, I mean, you want to play it safe because they're backed up so much, but the opportunity for a safety and right here, I mean, you kind of do have to keep running with it and try and get as much pressure on him as possible.
They're going to throw. Dutchicall looking deep. Down to the far side. Overthrows by a step. Saguaro calling for a flag. That was great coverage on the far side. Was it close? Absolutely. Connor Clinton in coverage.
Yeah, and that was a really close ball. I think it was out of the reach, though, of the intended target, Anthony Gonzalez there. And the good decision to keep the flag in the back pocket because that was good coverage. It is 3rd and 28 right now. You obviously don't think you should, and I'd hope. I mean, you don't want to give up the first down right here. But do you send everybody? Do you try and get the safety? Do you try and make something happen here and get the football back? You already know that if you just play conservative, you should be getting the ball back here on a punt in pretty good field position. Is it worth risking that and sending a lot of your guys in the box? Because a screen or some sort of deal of that matter would really make this a close chance from 28 yards out.
Well, Jason Mon senses that. He brings in Warner for a design run, running left side. He's got some blocks to the outside. He's not going to get the first down, but he gives the punter some breathing room here. Advances it all the way forward to the 20-yard line or so. So it's a 15-yard gain, yet you still got to double that for first down.
Absolutely, and yeah, just shows you that you really are grateful for those 3 consecutive false starts, which are just so unordinary. They'll take that. And now Casteel, back-to-back drives, holding them on 4th down. And there's still time in this 3rd quarter to try and get something and make it a 2-possession game going into the 4th. Casteel has done everything right here in the 2nd half in trying to come back from 4 scores.
And if there's anybody who wanted to try to provide a spark, it's the guy receiving this punt, Isaiah Newcomb. He has housed one this year. He's got great speed, and he'll have to wait another flag, a false start against Saguaro. I mean, it's bonkers, really, honestly. Obviously, there's a lot of new personnel into the game right now, given all the transfers finally playing together for the first time this year. Scottsdale Unified School District, their timeline to get back to football was a lot later than some Chandler and Southeast Valley schools. But to have 4 false starts in one drive, Jason Mon's got to be livid.
Absolutely. There's just no need for it. And if you didn't have those penalties, you wouldn't be putting the ball away from 20 yards out.
Newcomb's going to let it drop and get out of bounds.
And you wouldn't be giving Casteel any opportunity now to keep building off the momentum they established on the first offensive drive about 8 minutes ago. And this entire quarter has been Casteel's. You got to be livid if you're Coach Mons and Saguaro right now. I mean, that's just uncalled for. You shouldn't make that happen. And, 4 penalties on that drive is just unheard of. Granted, 3 in a row. And they can't be giving any personal opportunities up for Casteel to build off of, and that's exactly what they've done here through 2 of their own possessions.
Don't look now. A 39-yard punt, but all of a sudden, this can be a 2-score game at the end of this drive. A swing out to Knutson. He's got room and downfield blocking. Cuts inside the numbers, inside the 35, and a big first down gain for the Colts.
When it rains, it pours. Everything going right for Casteel right now. Dane Christensen just dropping it off on a bubble screen to Knutson, and he gained about 20 yards on it. Now they're set up shop inside the 35, and Casteel, time is of the limited, I guess, but a big play there for them.
23-yard gain for Knutson. Christensen over the middle, ball bobbled in the air, and it's intercepted. Coming back the other way, the SaberCats. Flag comes down, out of bounds inside the 50-yard line. Check on the flag, but it was after the interception. It was picked off by Miles Crutchley, his first pick of the year. Just bobbled up in the air. Dijon, who was a hair behind him, but the ball went up instead of going down.
And that just really hurts because everything was going right for Casteel in this comeback effort. And Miller's pretty upset about it. He's had a big game. It's going to be a hold on Saguaro after the interception that'll move him back 10 yards. But wow, that just made a very loud Casteel crowd here. I mean, you can hear crickets chirping right when that pick happened. And for Miller, who's just had such a great game, you know, of all the guys for it to have happened, that's a tough play. But as sad as that is and as unfortunate, Casteel's defense can keep them in this thing. They got to try and build from it now. That's a big setback, but a 3 and out again can get them right back in the same spot they were just in.
2 picks tonight for Dane Christensen, both on batted balls. Now, Xander, the quarterback on this play, Warner diving forward. Ball came free. Whistle's coming out. They're deeming him down.
Yeah,
short gain.
He looked down from up here, but yeah, I mean, anything you can do to try and, I mean, it just shows that the defense is trying. They're batting the ball out even if he was down. I mean, it's showing that they're trying to make something happen. I wouldn't say out of nothing because they've had their opportunity here in the second half and that recent touchdown that Casteel scored at the beginning of their first drive.
Warner has certainly given Saguaro their best chance to win at quarterback today. Not saying for the whole season, but tonight he's been the best player on the field. Warner ready. High snap, and it's over his head. He goes back to retrieve it at his own 10-yard line, showing off the wheels to get outside and try to create something, but it's a loss of 7.
Well, he fielded that at his own 10-yard line and ended up only losing 5 yards on the play. So Warner, you mentioned being the best player on the field in that situation. I mean, you don't know where the ball is going to bounce. It's already 10 yards past the line. A really good job of him, but hey, another opportunity now. Casteel, just stick with it. This is a big 3rd down. Who knows if it's even 4-down territory. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Mons wants to go that way. Casteel's defense, you got to stick with it for at least one more play and see what Saguaro is going to throw at you.
Officially a loss of 8. Dutchakal back in at quarterback. Warner is in the slot to the right. They bluff, play action. Dutchakal, pump fake, throwing deep. Looking for Gonzalez, has it on the back shoulder, inside the 40, still going, down inside the 20. Ball came out. That ball is a fumble, and it's picked up by Casteel, going the other way. Whistles come down now.
That's okay. Kick that kid out of the game.
Now there's extracurriculars on the far side of the field and a Casteel player down at the 50. A whole lot happening here. First of all, it was a catch. Second of all, was it a fumble? Third of all, that flag comes after the change of possession.
Well, Gonzalez got suplexed after he broke off 2 tackles when he caught it at the 40. Because of that, he never touched the ground. That should and I think will be a fumble. Now, there's a lot of extracurriculars. There's some pushing and shoving. There's an injured Saguaro Sabercat on the field that's being attended to right now. That was a 63-yard gain, guys, and then a lot of extra stuff happened. The officials are going to have a heyday trying to work with this, but hats off to Casteel's defense. I mean, they give up a huge play, trying to stick with it. They force a turnover after the fumble. I mean, are you kidding me? They're showing that they still want to be in this game and give the offense of Casteel, who just had a turnover, another opportunity. The grit and fight that they're showing right now to stay in this game is unbelievable. And we'll see what the officials have to say in a little bit.
And if you're Jason Mons right now and you see this happening, the game opening up but also getting sloppy, quite frankly, that would worry you as your team sitting comfortable, but here they are. They haven't scored in the second half after they were dominant in the first half. The adjustments have been made. You've been making sloppy false start penalties. You've had bad snaps this entire second half. There you've had 2 near fumbles and that one finally a fumble, and now you make a dumb hit out of bounds after the play is over. You got to get control of the guys, otherwise you've seen this team come from behind this season.
Well, this game's already coming a little bit unraveled and unloose, and that doesn't sit well if you're Saguaro, the team up right now that's giving momentum away. They got the interception, then you're thinking you're settling it down after those, 3 straight penalties on the offensive line. And then you finally think you have it over with that deep connection by Warner to Gonzalez. And then a fumble happens. And it's like, oh, here we go again. We got to try and fend off this push by Casteel. And then another disciplinary action where you hit a guy out of bounds. So absolutely I'd gather the troops right now and wonder what the heck is going on, guys. So the officials, the head umpire here talking to both sidelines, both coaching staffs. I mean, there's still just so much going on right now.
So Ben Shreves, the official, is going to give the call toward the fans. There's no microphone, obviously. First got a personal foul for a chop block against the Colts. Also a dead ball penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct against Saguaro. Thus, that's not an offsetting penalty, and it will stay with Saguaro. So they're not deeming it a fumble.
I don't understand how that wasn't a fumble.
I don't think the beanbag was ever thrown. I think everything was trying to be sorted out. They kind of let the play happen and then realized call on the field is not a fumble. Chop block is enforced. But then where's the 15-yard penalty for the unsportsmanlike conduct is my question. Nonetheless, Saguaro keeps the ball after a 63-yard gain. I'm still confused. Jacobs on the run, a small gain on first down.
I just don't understand why the fumble gets wiped out or just not brought up at all, because they let the play continue. And that is very confusing for, the entire Casteel faithful here, but for us here in the booth as well. And that's big. I mean, right when it looked like Casteel had found another way to try and get themselves to build off of something, and it looked like it was going to happen, now you got to talk about, from deep in their own end, a 63-yard connection that stands, and now set up inside the 25 is Saguaro.
You can still bend and not break here, though. That's the same mantra we were talking about earlier. Dutchakal gives to Jacobs. Again, he finds a small hole and gets through inside the 15. First down, SaberCats.
Well, giving up 3 here will make it still a 3-score game. A touchdown puts it back to where you started, 12 minutes ago. So that doesn't help you here at all. But yeah, just a great job by Jacob there, kind of finding his way, hurdling a couple guys, or some tackles, I should say, and finding a way through. Now we get another flag.
This was no one was set up here. This might be coming from a sideline warning. It is a sideline warning against Saguaro. So obviously the coach is not happy about something over there.
There's just been so much, weirdness in this game. I guess that's what comes with 2020. You never know what to expect. And they've got a sideline penalty there, but nonetheless, this shouldn't really stop anything that Saguaro has going for them here on the drive. But if you're Casteel, you're trying to find another way. Whether it's an interception, punching the ball out, and a strip sack, something that they've done that tonight to try and build from and get something going in your direction.
Dutchakal ready as the quarterback here. Warner was in tight end, now throwing it on the near side. That is Monday, playing both ways here. Doesn't get much, though. Short gain.
Yeah, it's Connor Clinton bringing down the guy lined up in the tight end spot Monday. Bringing up a 2nd down and 7 for Saguaro here. And again, just keeping him short. Try not to break. Runner a minute to go in the 3rd. 3 possessions is a tall task with only 1 quarter to go, but 4 would definitely make things a lot worse, obviously, but really, uncertain, I would say, and pretty improbable to make happen.
It was 13-0 after 1 quarter, and then 34-7 at halftime, and now 34-14. Timeout called by Saguaro, their first of the half.
Timeout, SaberCats.
So a whole lot happened there. If you're just joining us on this drive, on a big 3rd down, 63 yards forward on a great play to Anthony Gonzalez on the throw from Dutchakal. Then as he was brought down at the 20-yard line, looked like the ball came free, and it was picked up by Corbin Cantrell. He runs the other way, gets out of bounds, and then gets clobbered out of bounds, a clear late hit. Then it becomes a big fiasco on the sideline. Officials get together, somehow wipe out the fumble, and 2 penalties on the play, 1 for a chop block against Casteel during the initial play, and not after change of possession, and also an unsportsmanlike conduct as a dead ball penalty, but we never saw 15 yards come back for the dead ball penalty. Those don't offset because they are separate penalties.
And it's like, they did offset, I guess, right? They didn't even bring it up, and they just kind of ignored the fact that happened, and that 15 yards back from where this drive is right now could be the difference between holding him from a field goal or a potential touchdown spot, and ultimately a big, change in how the game will turn out between deciding 6, 3, or maybe even 0 points.
So after the timeout, 2nd and 7. A bluff to Jacobs. Warner again. It has been unstoppable tonight. A run up the gut. Another touchdown for Warner. SaberCats pouring it on. They're up 40-14 on his 4th rushing touchdown of the night.
And if you're Coach Mons and Saguaro, you're saying, finally, something that we can put out there, and it seems like this quarter just nothing has gone our way at all. They had the big push and a drive where Casteel could have put the game to a 2-possession game, and then the fumble that you think is, there's no shot after the 63-yard game it was going to, be reversed like it was, I guess. And And you finally break through, put it back to a 4-score lead, and Casteel now facing the heavy deficit they were at when they started this half with this PAT being up and good.
So 27-point lead, 41-14. They've mirrored the scoreboard. 6-play drive, 75 yards, took 3:28 off the clock, and it felt like 7:28.
Absolutely, and there's just so much going on trying to figure it out. So if you're Casteel here, obviously, the hurry-up offense is going to happen here, but how early do you start thinking about the onside kicks and anything of that matter? Because 4 scores with a little over a quarter to go in the contest is pretty tough to make happen.
Well, quite frankly, you got to score before you think about onside kicks.
That's true. And they'll have the opportunity now because they've moved down the field really. They've only scored 14 points, but Casteel has done a great job tonight of moving down at least from one side of the field to the other. Cashing in inside the 25, it's been a little bit different with penalties and sacks, so to put them out of range and things of that matter. But trying to find 6 here and worrying about what happens after they score will be the task for the Colts right now.
A touchback from Ortiz. And looking ahead here for Casteel, yes, there's still another quarter to play. It's not going to get easier. This is their final home game. And next week, they face a very fresh and hungry Chaparral team that you may recall had to cancel their first 3 games of the season, including one against the Saguaro Sabercats, due to COVID protocols after a positive test in week 1. Chaparral's fresh. They haven't played many games. They're probably not going to be able to make playoffs with how little points they'll be able to accumulate, but that's going to be a dangerous game going up to Casteel to take on Chaparral. Then they go on the road to Desert Ridge and close against defending 6A champs Red Mountain. Here's a run to Knutson. Catches him by surprise. Jace Knutson gets the first down, and he's pushed forward to the 36.
Yeah, Knutson running right into his offensive lineman there. I think he would have gotten a couple more if he had stayed to the outside. But a big first down pickup there. The Colts are going to try and keep moving it here and get as many plays off as they can with only 15 to go and ticking in the quarter.
Probably got one more play here in the quarter. Final 10 seconds. Christensen steps up. You can run it. The clock's going to stop as he slides, and he's down at the 39. And that'll take us to the 4th quarter. So their work's cut out for them. It's a 27-point deficit with 12 minutes to play. Crazier things have happened. It's 2020 after all, but stick around for the conclusion as we step aside. 41-14, Saguaro leading Casteel through 3.
Cheer it one more time for our cheer team, our pom team, and our Casteel Colts marching band.
On to the 4th quarter with Matt Venezia. I'm Dominic Catronio and our entire Casteel TV production crew, audio, video, all students staffing this production on cameras and on the switcher, as taught by John Lamont here at Casteel High School. We thank them for their volunteer work here throughout the season. Here on 2nd down, a diving catch by Dom Dijon into Saguaro territory, 1st down, Colts.
Yeah, good job by Dijon there, kind of laying it all out. He's been banged up a couple times here. I'm not sure that felt too great, but able to put his body on the line for the team. Big first down pickup for Casteel.
Basically need to score with before the 11-minute mark to have any chance. Christensen looking, flag out, finds a man, and it was a catch? Wow, Dijon held on and dragged his toes, but there is a flag behind the play, looking like it's coming back for a holding perhaps against Brock Dew as he was questioning the call from the official. 2 flags down, actually.
Check that. 2 flags on the play.
Potentially offsetting stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Or from the same violation.
Right.
It's an ineligible downfield, rather, against the Colts. That penalty's declined, and the holding against the Colts will be accepted. So 2 penalties indeed, but both against Casteel.
Can't afford that. You know, they're right around midfield. They're actually across midfield, and now pushed back inside the 40-yard line here at the 38. Clock will continue to run. As you mentioned, 11-minute mark would be nice. I mean, there's just a tall order of things needing to happen for Casteel to avoid their second straight loss.
7 penalties for 80 yards now for the Colts.
All right, Watt, I'm switching to you.
Officially first and forever. Christensen, Knutson gets a little room to the outside across the 45 and down at the 46. Gain of 8.
Another bubble screen. We've seen a lot of those from Christensen and his receivers tonight. Mostly have been by Knutson. That time he's able to get across the 45-yard line and make it a second and 15, I think. I mean, I had to check the scoreboard there.
Christensen, again, will dump it to Knutson, threw it behind him, spins away, doesn't matter. Good open field tackle there. Levi Robbins, the sophomore, making his presence known again.
Yeah, and I think the reason that play didn't get too many yards, the pass was behind Knutson. He had to kind of go back to it and lose some of the momentum that he had developed from the backfield. And right now, I mean, the clock is continuing to run. Not much urgency here by Casteel's offense.
And you look at the big picture of this game after this third down play. Christensen, again, scrambling out of the pocket, gets tripped up, dives forward to the 48. I mean, when you're down by 27, they're probably going to end up going for it here. No punting unit is coming out. But for the bigger picture of this game, this was not a scheduled game. Let's make that clear first and foremost. And Casteel playing this game, for one, it's about their seniors. And for two, it's almost a litmus test. You know, you're off to a 3-1 start. You had a tough game last week against Williamsfield, but you had 3 great wins to start year. Boulder Creek's a playoff team, Higley's a playoff team, Queen Creek's a playoff team. As Newcomb punts it away, Jacobs, and this is rather not Jacobs, back to return this one. Gets out of bounds, a good punt down to the 11. But this is almost a resume builder. It's not going to hurt you losing to a team like Saguaro, the best team in 5A, a perennial top talent in all of the state of Arizona, one of the top seeds in the open division last year. And a flag comes flying here at the end of the play. The point is, Casteel learns a lot in this game on where they stand in 6A versus open. And maybe they take this, bottle it up, and move full steam ahead in 6A. They're going to be a fringe team to make the open. And quite frankly, do you want to be the 8 seed and get the honor of getting blown out by Chandler in the first round? I don't know if you want to do that. But at the same time, you earn that right to get into the open division, and this was a chance to see where they stand.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, these games are tough on the seniors. They're tough on the players out there having to grind and be out there chasing 27 points and that kind of deal. But it does help as a coaching staff with preparation moving ahead in the season. 3-1 looks great. But are we as elite as these other teams that are known statewide? And tonight the answer has been no. We've seen glimpses of being able to compete with teams like Saguaro, but now they'll be able to take it, like you said, move forward and try and be better for next time.
The flag was unsportsmanlike conduct against Saguaro, so they start to drive back another 15 yards, and Dutchacol with the keeper there gets a couple of yards out to the 10-yard line. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat this saying, oh, Casteel never expected to win this game. That's not the case at all. There was a lot of excitement from this sideline before the game. And they wanted to compete and put out a good showing against a quality opponent like Saguaro, which they'll be having plenty of quality opponents coming down the stretch here.
And I mean, a good 5 minutes of game ago, Casteel had a chance to make it a 2-possession game. And now it's a 4-possession game. So they had the opportunity to show that they can compete.
A run up the middle by Pickett, and not much happening. Gets a yard or two, brings up third down. Rather, it was Josh Baxter with the rush there, the senior captain. 3rd and 5 on the way.
Yeah, it seems like both staffs have a general understanding of just keeping the clock running, and this game is over. We'll see if that holds true on this 3rd down.
It's a shocker. First real blowout game we've had in the 4th quarter, Matt. It seems like every game, obviously the 3 previous home games have been nail-biters to the final seconds.
Absolutely, and We've seen large deficits. Tonight's was just maybe a little too big for Casteel to work their way back from.
But also, 14 points isn't going to win many games in Arizona. Dutchakal going deep. He's got Gonzalez again. First down, SaberCats right at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, Gonzalez looking like a center fielder right there, kind of backpedaling right to the 50-yard line and hauling that one in with, little issue at all. Huge connection and a big first down gain for Saguaro.
38 yards. It's been the big plays tonight. Obviously, 41 points on the board, that's a big part, and they've been able to cash in every time they get into the red zone. But these chunk plays just suck the life out of you, and it seems like every single one of them have come on third down.
Exactly. I was just going to say, it's like, well, we've done our job for the first 2 plays of the drive. Third down comes up, whether it's from 5, from 1, from 10, and they go for 38. And we've seen it quite a lot here tonight.
Dutchakal has time, runs, he's got a wide open field in front of him. Now goes for an awkward slide, but he's got the first. Inside the 40, down at the 38, a gain of 12.
Great awareness there by Dutchakal, kind of dropping back in the pocket and no one in the box there to bring him down, so that's why he was able to turn upfield and get a big gain there and keep the sticks moving for Saguaro.
Warner in the game in the slot on the top of your screen. Dutchakal still the quarterback. Had a man leaning, but didn't take the snap. As for Saguaro, we talk about how Casteel looked at this game. For Saguaro, they were at risk of having 2 games of an 8-game season canceled due to COVID protocols. They were just as excited to play this game. A screen to the outside, it's Davies. Davies looking for room, gets to the outside, and there goes Davies. Mason Davies outside the numbers, and he's tackled just shy of the goal line. Great effort there by J.J. Newcomb to yield away from the touchdown at least for a moment, but a big gain of 36 on the play.
Well, it was 36 yards, but he probably ran for around 80 on that total sequence as that pass was on the right side of the field, and then he was able to come all the way back over to the left and be tackled just short of the end zone. And just a great job by Mason Davies there to really, make something out of nothing for a 36-yard gain, but he had to put a lot more work in than just running for only 36.
And Dutchakal still the quarterback here. A fake to Davies, a throw, and it's batted down, almost picked off by Newcomb right in the face of Dutchakal. JJ had a couple of picks 2 weeks ago here against Queen Creek.
Yeah, and a good job there by Casteel to get some pressure in the face of Dutchakal, and that'll stop the clock with 6:22 to go. And knocking on the door once again are the SaberCats, looking to push this 27-point lead to the largest we've seen tonight with one more score.
Dutchakal ready. Baxter to his right. Jacobs in motion. A give to Baxter. Up the middle, the senior scores. Touchdown Saguaro. His second rushing touchdown of the season. And the route is on. It's 47-14.
Yeah, and all that is there is just a give right up the middle. You saw Warner being used there as a blocking back as he came right in across, right underneath the right guard and helped block there. Was a big part of why Baxter had such a nice lane up the middle. And everyone scoring here tonight. Everyone touching the football here for Saguaro. A great win for them. A great team win. They had some issues in the earlier stages of the third quarter where it looked like Casteel would have been able to make it closer. And a couple breaks here and there, and a questionable fumble that did not get called.
But nonetheless, they still couldn't stop them after the break didn't go their way.
No, yeah, right, they couldn't. So, a couple things, and you can't and shouldn't blame it on that, but, just for Saguaro, they came in, they got the job done, they showed everyone the highly touted team in the state that they are. For Casteel, it's a learning point moving forward, like you mentioned, and there were a couple glimpses where it looked like they could get back in the football game, and that'll be the positive that you have to take away and you have to still buy in with moving forward in the next week of preparation.
When you ask any coach, you don't want to peak early, that's for sure. And Casteel is enjoying the valley right now of the peaks and valleys of a football season. And Saguaro might be just starting back on a new peak after they were brought back down to earth last week against Hamilton. The kickoff away to Newcomb. He'll return it from his own 4. Isaiah Newcomb going to keep getting outside.
Come on, Isaiah.
Newcomb across the 30 and down at the 33. So a solid return of 29 yards. By the way, that scoring drive for Saguaro, 8 plays, 85 yards. Their longest drive of the game, 3:18 off the clock.
Yeah, and you mentioned finding a peak to go off of hopefully into the playoffs. And we talked about Casteel's schedule ending with Red Mountain at the end of the year. I mean, if they're gonna have a peak, those are the teams that you're gonna want to have it against, so that you know that you can take on some of the best teams in the state and still be okay, even if that means that you're an 8 seed or whatever they'll have going into the open playoff. So they have a highly, tough schedule coming up here to close out the year with none of them being home games, and they'll have an opportunity to find success against some good teams.
Christensen to Dijon, a good go back and get it catch. He got the first down with forward progress. It's a gain of 12 on first down.
And a good curl route right about to the sticks, and able to pick it up as Dom Dijon is being used more here in the half. Last time we really saw him was earlier in the first quarter before he was hurt. Big gain there.
Christensen to Newcomb on a just designed bubble screen. Hits the brakes, cuts it back up the hashes. Falling forward, first down. A gain of 11. What more can you say about Isaiah Newcomb, though? I think Chip Kelly is watching and really getting excited about having him inside the unit at UCLA next year.
Yeah, he's going to be a fun guy to use. You can clearly see that you can use him running deep, running short, and using blockers. He's a really highly touted prospect for UCLA.
And there was Newcomb again, a tackle that went up high and no flag on the play. Newcomb again, he's well over 100 yards. He's actually nearing 200 probably at this point.
Probably nearing right around 20 catches too on the game.
And with this modified air raid, if you will, it's almost like this is what Luke Falk felt playing for Mike Leach at Washington State. To the flat, Dijon gets to the 30. 5 yards there. Brings up 2nd and 5.
And Dijon there, just kind of these short routes. I mean, we talked about it earlier before the touchdown that we saw from Casteel in the third, where these short bids aren't helping you, they're not helping you now. In garbage time, and just trying to score to make it look more respectable, you can afford to do these.
Newcomb, another face mask, and there's the penalty. Heck, even the back judge had to throw that one. Newcomb was complaining about the last tackle that there was a face mask. In fact, he ripped the face mask so hard his helmet came off. See, in my opinion, too, if you're guilty of a face mask and the face mask and your helmet comes off, you shouldn't have to sit out a play, in my opinion.
Right.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, and the reason there, folks, piece of equipment, blood or anything, or your helmet flies off, you have to sit out one play. What Dom's alluding to is he didn't do that on purpose. So
right.
It's not intentional. That was not him doing it.
It was a violation.
Right. There's a reason for it, a penalty. They called a penalty for it. There should be an excuse for that happening.
Newcomb and Dijon both over 100 yards receiving today. Here's a give to Knutson. He lost the ball, and Christensen has to dive on it. Just that kind of night. That kind of night. By the way, Newcomb, 13 catches, 133 yards. Dijon, 8 catches, 123 yards. They both have or rather, just Dijon has a touchdown.
Yeah, the combination of 250 yards and 20-plus catches. Not a surprise that those guys are doing it. And Zach Miller is right around 10 catches and right around 100 yards as well.
And a touchdown today from Jace Knutson throwing it. Here's Christensen, 2nd and 13. Knutson's wide open. He was unmarked. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Colts. From 15 yards out, Knutson responsible for his 2nd touchdown today, his first one receiving.
Pretty easy touchdown there for Christensen, just finding which guys were open, and then he looked over and it's like a deer in headlights. Saw Knutson wide open on the right side with no one near him, and he was just able to walk on into the end zone and make it a little bit more respectable. The Colts' 2nd touchdown of the half, and this PAT will make it back to 27.
Scoring drive, 6 plays, 68 yards, 2:06 off the clock. A big salute to our lead statistician tonight, Vince Catronio. He's been here the last 3 games. He's got his glasses on, he's locked in. So now they're going to go for 2 here, because why not? Christensen, a bluff, another bluff. Now he has to scramble, and he's brought down. Another sack on the tie. We're going to say it's Quentin Somerville with a number change. Brings him down. No good on the 2-point conversion.
Well, that 2-point try would have made it a 26-point deficit. It sits straight at 4 touchdowns now. And with 4:03 to go, I'd imagine that Saguaro's just going to run this thing out. But that's kind of what I thought last time. But who knows? We'll see. So the crowd now getting going to some music and things, trying to keep them, excited throughout this contest.
It is the last home game for these seniors in what has been an absolutely brutal 2020. Heck, these students haven't even been in the classroom until just about 3 weeks ago. So, enjoying their last football game together, circumstances aside, memories that, we all have. Kick away from Crowder and received at their own 9-yard line. A lot of room and stumbling, and Crowder makes the tackle, the kicker. Or rather, not Crowder, but it was looked like rather Dalton Hunt might have made the play there, 16.
And we got a flag in here, too. There's a back judge throwing it in there from around the logo.
I was getting ready to say, man, the Swallows had a lot of flags. We've just seen a lot of flags all season, regardless of the team.
Right.
I think that's been across the board in Arizona, just a lot more violations being called. Holding against Saguaro here, the call.
Hey, it wasn't the player season that was put on hold, it was the official season too, so they're eager to throw those flags out and show off their arms.
Like we said, there was 28 penalties in last week's game between Hamilton and Saguaro. In the opener, Mountain Point and Higley, there was something like 35 penalties in that game.
Right.
It's just, it's no fun. Obviously, these guys aren't pros yet, but it's one of those things that.
And you got
is there really that many penalties to call?
Right. You want to discipline the game. You want to make sure that you're doing your job properly. But at some point or another, and I'm just talking about the questionable calls that should they have been called or not. You got to let the guys play, and we haven't really seen that all too often here tonight.
And now the backup quarterback is actually into the game, running out to the scramble. This is Cole Goodwin out of bounds, and he got a first down.
Yeah, good one there. It seems like every quarterback on the roster understands that they are going to be in a running playbook. It seems like every guy's able to make that happen for Coach Mons here. And Saguaro's going to get the win tonight. The clock will continue. Actually, not right now. It's not ticking because he went out of bounds. But right, 30:49 to go, and another first down picked up.
Well, he's 5'10", 165, and Xander Werner is graduating at the end of this year, and the junior Dutcha call will be returning. Ball almost came free, and it does come free. Casteel might have jumped on it.
Yeah, it was off the transfer there, just one quick cut, and that ball was on the ground, and the Colts get the turnover.
Looks like the man who came up with it was Isaiah Chaidez, senior with the fumble recovery.
Another opportunity to go out and make it a little bit more respectable. These are the things. You look in the long run about what you're able to do with the opportunities you're given. Who cares if it's a 28-point game? If you force a turnover, that looks good, and if you're able to capitalize on it against a team like Saguaro, that looks big, and that's something that the coaches are going to emphasize on, and those are the things that they want to see in their guys. Even if the game is clearly on the scoreboard over, that they're still trying and putting an effort, even when it seems like it's all but over.
And Christensen is still the quarterback here for this. The starters are in. Christensen, he's got room to run to the right. He'll go ahead and save himself inside the 25.
Yeah, Dane safely just getting what he can, getting what the defense is giving him, and he'll try now. Again, not really in any hurry. They didn't think they were going to get this possession anyway, so just taking what they're given, using the time, at their leisure, and now set up inside the 25, looking for another.
Knudsen in motion. Christensen scrambles right. Going to throw it across his body. He finds a man. Good catch by Desmond Holton.
Yeah, Desmond Holton there just sitting right in front of Christensen's face, who was running for his life there along the right side. And the pass is complete. And another first down for the Colts now with under 3 minutes and ticking now as the clock will start to roll again.
See Peyton Cornwell checking in. Talented sophomore that's really going to have to anchor this offensive line next year. You got 3 seniors on this O-line, Justin Thomas, Ethan Chase, and Brock Dew. Cornwell in at right guard. Takes a snap. Christensen from under center. Throws it. Oh, it's a design play to the outside. Justin Thomas, and the flag comes out. Love that. Justin Thomas, the senior left tackle, receiving as an eligible receiver. Man down here, slow to get up, by the way, was George Monreal. Sophomore. Let's check on these flags.
I'm wondering, it looked like he was an eligible receiver, but could it have been an ineligible man downfield because Thomas was the only guy there and not being attended to? And I think that may have been the call. I don't know. I think it was ineligible.
It must have been an eligible receiver. An eligible receiver receiving the ball.
Right.
You know. So for the loss of down.
And because of the loss of down, the clock's going to keep running here.
Because they would call an illegal formation and let the play run out and be the same call as a false start. So I mean, it must be that. 2nd and 20. Knutson outside. Out of bounds near the 15.
Another bubble dump off there. Knutson's been on the receiving end of many of those here tonight. Try and make this 3rd down a little bit closer than what it could be here. So 3rd and 13 coming up for Casteel.
Yep. I was already on.
A lot of confusion right now on offense. 3rd down. Dejan switches with Newcomb to the far side. 3rd and 13. Christensen has to dump it off again. Knutson is brought down. My, oh my. Jacob Polk with the stop, the junior linebacker.
Yeah, fantastic tackle. That's just 2 skills guys in space, and who's going to win the battle right there. I mean, a lot of room to make plays, and the ball carrier there, Knutson, not able to escape the grasp of Polk. And a big tackle brings up a 4th and long.
And this is where you look at it from 2 ways. Yes, Dane leads the state in passing yards. The offense is designed for the ball to get into the air here. But he's had no time to get it downfield at all. He's been dumping off all night. Granted, the best plays have been the posts and the slants and the skinnies over the middle, but they just haven't had time to let those plays develop. The front 4 has just been wreaking havoc for Saguaro onto Casteel.
Absolutely.
This is the game, 4th and 20. Need to get to the 5. Christensen was looking for that bubble. Now he's going for Newcomb in the end zone. It is picked off. Jumping into the air, a 50-50 ball. 3rd interception of the night. And this one is pulled down by Carlos Griffin, who had 3 interceptions against Maricopa earlier this year. That's his 4th of the year.
Yeah, and that one really, the only one that you can blame on Christensen, because the other 2 were off deflections. That time, just looking for the jump ball of Newcomb, didn't really get there all the way. And, you know, as we mentioned, the interception there right in the grasp of the defender, and the first one that just didn't get to Newcomb, and because of that, results in a turnover.
So Werner coming in, imagine he'll be taking the knees here. It just takes 2 knees, and this game will be over. So Saguaro will be improving to 3-1. Remember, they've already had 1 game canceled this year, as Casteel will be falling to 3-2.
Yeah, big game here for both sides. 2 different takeaways from it. Saguaro looking to keep on trucking and happy that they didn't get this game canceled. There would have been 2 already at the halfway mark being canceled due to COVID protocol. And for Casteel, coming into this 3-1, they knew it was going to be a tall order tonight. Not that they couldn't get it done. Now it's being shown. Take away the positives from it and use it moving forward as they have a tough stretch of games up ahead. And that'll do it from us here today.
Final numbers in this one. Final score, Saguaro 48, Casteel 20. Final numbers, Dutchakal, he went 5 of 13 in the air for 191 yards on just 5 completions. As for Werner, he rushed the ball 16 times for 65 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns. He also had 1 passing touchdown. Dutchakal also had 1 passing touchdown. As for Christensen, 38 of 54 for 388 yards, but in a losing effort. He had 2 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Not quite his night for Dane Christensen.
Well, I mean, he usually throws the ball a lot. You mentioned that it's a throwing offense. But when you're playing catch-up by multiple scores, you know, you got to throw the ball 54 times to give yourself a chance. And he threw 54 times tonight and ended up losing by 28. So for a guy that leads the league in the state, no surprise that he threw for a lot of yards today. But on a losing effort for the Casteel Colts, and the Saguaro Sabercats are going to leave with the win.
So Saguaro, again, they're up to 3-1. As for Casteel, they will fall to 3-2. Our final score, 48-20 for Matt Venezia, and for our statistician Vince Cotroneo. I'm Dominic Cotroneo, and for our entire Casteel video production crew, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll hopefully see you in the playoffs. That's to be determined. This our final broadcast on Sports 360 AZ for football season 4 Casteel football. Until we see you again, stay safe, take care, and enjoy football the rest of the year.